But the fat man didn't stop mumbling all the time. Long Qingxie was so angry that he stepped on his soft tummy, and the fat man jumped up from the ground with a very sensitive cry. Dragon 4, what are you doing? The fat man rubbed his belly. Although he didn't get hurt, it was really painful. Long Qingxie leisurely sitting on the ground. Language with disgust to the fat man is a bitter criticism and sarcasm. I don't know if we have a little girl here. If Coco comes out, you will see your fat body. Do you want to disgust her with your fat body, or do you want to disgust her with your obscenity? Everyone, including Lao Hu and Yun Wu, was amused by the immoral mouth of Long Qingxie. The fat man was said to be unable to hang on his face, and his white and fleshy neck turned red. Ah, there's a little girl who's in trouble. We used to go out to do some work. We all have a few skillful men. Who cares? Just cool down. Although he complained like this, he thought that Coco was young and Lao Hu's daughter. The fat man picked up the clothes he had thrown aside and put them on again. However, the smell of sweat is really good. The short man pinched his nose and complained to the fat man. Fat man, you stink to death. Hey, why don't you go to the river and take a bath and change your clothes and come back? Well, I'm disgusted everywhere. The fat man glared at the short man, took out a set of short beatings from his own burden, carried them, and walked to the river nearby. Lao Hu is not at ease of whispering. So late, his own past all right? The short man waved his hand indifferently, not as worried as Lao Hu. Don't worry, Lao Hu. How far is the river? Fat man can run back in time when he meets anything. Lao Hu thought that it was the same thing. So he didn't think about it anymore and put on his clothes and lay down to sleep. Can Cloud Dance saw the direction that fat person leaves, feel a little uneasy suddenly. What's the matter? Long Qingxie is always the first one to find out that she is not in the right mood. He sits next to Yunwu, lowers his upper body, and asks her in a low voice. Cloud Dance lay side head to see a Long Qing evil one eye, shook to shake head, what didn't say. Because she didn't really feel the danger, she didn't know whether she was attentive or not. However, facts have proved that whether it is Yunwu or Lao Hu, their worries are necessary. When a fat white man in trousers came running towards the camp, everyone was awakened from the dream. Help! Save life! Small 5. When Yunwu heard the first call for help, he quickly woke up from his sleep. Now it's midnight, probably close to the river. There is a light mist around the camp. In addition, it happens that dark clouds cover the moon, so it is difficult to guarantee the sight. If not for hearing the cry for help and the huge body, Cloud Dance may not be able to confirm that the towering white meatball running over is the fat man of their team. When the fat man saw the camp, he burst into tears. Xiao Wu, help! After shouting this sentence, the fat man fell on the ground with a puff, splashing dust all over the ground. Even the Cloud Dance could feel the ground shaking. What's the matter, fat man? Yunwu is just the person nearest to the fat man. She reaches out her hand and pokes the fat man's arm to ask everyone's questions. Fat man's breath is much faster than his air intake. He has been breathing for a long time, but he can't say a word. He just desperately points at his back. Yunwu looks over there. It's the direction of the river. Fat man, what did you mean by the river? The fat man's face was as ugly as if he had just swallowed more than 10 leeches. His whole body was shaking violently. His whole body was fat and shaking without rhythm, and his mouth could only repeat the same syllable over and over again. Wolf the wolf. Yunwu squatted beside the fat man for a long time to hear what he said clearly, and his face became calm. Straighten up, Yunwu said to other people waiting for her to relay the fat man's words. He said only one word, wolf. Lao Hu some puzzled way. In the end is what Warcraft can frighten the fat man like this? If it's just a wolf, or a pack of wolves, it's time to catch up. Why didn't it move? When he said this, everyone agreed. The rest of the expedition team also think it's funny. If they can scare people into such a Warcraft, they won't dare to come because they have too many people, will they? Can't that fat man be timid and see things like trees and stones as Warcraft? There are not 1 or 2 people who have such an idea. When the first person says it, many people agree with it. Cloud Dance at this time, but in different way. Fat man is not that kind of easily can be scared out of his wits, or wait for him to slow down. Ask him carefully. After that, Yunwu said to Laohu, Uncle Hu, before that, it's better to keep everyone on guard. I always think something will happen. All right, listen to you. Laohu has no objection to Yunwu's command. This is the world. The strong is the king. Although Yunwu is young, Yunwu is stronger than him, so he is willing to submit to such a young man. However, just because he knows the ability of cloud dance, it doesn't mean that others also know it. A middle-aged man with a body as big as a bear and a skin as black and shiny strode over. He looked at Laohu with disdain and said to him, Laohu, when do you start to listen to the instructions of a baby? Do you care what I become? I advise you that you'd better keep vigilant at night, or you won't regret anything. The bear looked at Laohu's eyes and saw a big joke. Are you kidding me? You're crazy to listen to the boy's orders, and you want us to be ashamed with you? Forget it with that. The bear looked up and down at Yunwu, who was extremely contemptuous, and left with a sarcastic smile. For such a guy who only has muscles but no brain, Yunwu even thinks it's a waste of time to look at him more. Laohu comforted Yunwu and said, Xiaowu, don't give him the same opinion. I'll go and talk to the people over there, so that they won't be on guard. In this way, we can have more support here. After Laohu left, Yunwu watched the fat man's awkward prone posture. He was worried that he would not be killed by Warcraft if he lay down like this again. First, he would crush himself to death because he oppressed his heart. Help the fat man back first. Don't let him lie on the ground. The other three in the group of tall, short, fat, and thin all came right away. According to Yunwu's words, they dragged the fat man back to his mat like a dead pig. So for a while, the fat man has eased a lot, and his breathing is gradually even. Yunwu squatted beside the fat man and pressed his hand on the side of his neck to make sure that his pulse and heartbeat were stable before withdrawing his hand. Weight is too high, suddenly encounter stimulation. If you can't calm down, it's actually very dangerous. As soon as the fat man could catch his breath, he grasped Yunwu's wrist, and the eagerness in his eyes almost overflowed. Xiaowu, Xiaowu, help. Don't worry, tell me first what you've come across. If you don't tell me, how can I save you? Yunwu's calmness infected the fat man and relieved his anxiety. He closed his eyes and silently counted from 1 to 100 in his heart. He felt that his chest was not there because his heart was beating too fast. Then he opened his eyes again and looked at Yunwu. It's a wolf. I see a snow devil wolf that looks like a fifth-order wolf. Because the fat man is still a little weak, so his voice is not big at this time. Only those who gathered around the fat man and their expedition team could hear what he was saying. And the people who heard it clearly turned blue because of what he said. Level 5 Warcraft, which can fight with people above level 6, and still occupy the overwhelming position when there are more than one enemy. Cloud Dance doesn't know what Snow Devil Wolf is, but after hearing the 5th level, her expression is dignified. Only a 4-step upward man-eating snake was enough for her to fight hard. At that time, if it was not for Hayo's help, she would have died with that man-eating snake. Now, in the face of level 5 Warcraft, she has no strength. Xiaowu, now, what should we do? The tall, short, fat, and thin four looked at each other, almost in unison, and asked for help from Yunwu. Now they have the trend of taking Cloud Dance as the leader, which is not uncommon in the exploration team. The team leader has rich experience that others don't have, as well as the skills to survive in the Warcraft forest. However, the most powerful person in the team is the spiritual leader that everyone worships. Cloud Dance eyebrows slightly wrinkled, but still asked a sentence to the fat man. Fat man, are you sure you read it right? The fat man said with a wry smile, I wish I had read it wrong. For this reason, I specially looked at it more. At the last glance, the guy was on the opposite side, which scared me all the way back. 5th level Warcraft. Fat man's escape is not shameful. On the contrary, here, the people who can save their lives in the face of a strong enemy are really admired by others. Cloud Dance subconsciously took a look at Long Qingxia. There was no way. At this time, the only person who knew how to deal with it was Long Qingxia. This man, maybe, can survive in Warcraft Forest better than Laohu. Long Qingxia received the eyes cast by Cloud Dance and said honestly, if it's an ordinary level 5 Warcraft, It's not difficult for everyone here to join hands and win. However, although Snow Devil Wolf is a 5th-level warcraft, it belongs to high-level warcraft, which is far more powerful than some 6th-level warcraft. Of course, among Snow Devil Wolves, there are 3, 6, and 9 levels of blood. If Fat Man meets Dew, he is a high-level warcraft. Maybe all the people here cannot survive. Although we all guessed it in our hearts, when Long Qingxie really said it, the tall, short, fat, and thin group of 4 was still scared. The thin man sat on the ground with the expression of eating flies on his face. He endured and complained. "What's the matter? The first night I came in, I met a man-eating snake. My task was to find the strange 5 venom stone. Now I thought I could get some sleep when I joined up with the army. Finally, I got another level 5 warcraft, and it's the Devil's Wolf. Is that a joke?" Cloud Dance watched the thin man fidgeting with his short hair, looking like a power pole with a chicken nest. No matter what, go and talk to other campsites first. They can believe it or not. Let them gather together to prepare for the attack of Snow Devil Wolf. Fat Man lying on the ground is still in a cold sweat. Cloud Dance and Dragon Pour Evil is impossible to do this thing. So the errand job was given to the remaining 3 men. However, Yunwu's conjecture is correct. After seeing Lao Hu's attitude towards Cloud Dance, people in other teams didn't believe the words spread from their team. A thin, small, and dry little boy who knows at a glance that he has no ability at all. It's killing the whole team to listen to such a thing, isn't it? When the 3 people came back, they said that almost all of them were sarcastic, and the rest of them had some face. They also hinted that they should not offer a child to God. Cloud Dance can only say, "Good words are hard to persuade ghosts who want to die. Since they want to die themselves, it's none of our business." Yunwu doesn't care about those people's life and death. She naturally won't pay attention to those people after all. As for her own safety, she naturally does not have to worry, because she still has Hyo to protect her life. And Long Qingxie, with his strength, if the 5th-level warcraft was hurt, it would be a laughing matter. However, she is here to practice in the warcraft forest. With her own strength, it may be a little suspense. However, the 5th-level Snow Devil Wolf may be a challenge, yes. I wanted to save their lives. Unfortunately, some people are rushing to die. What can we do? Long Qingxie looked at the idiots who pointed at them, and his sneer never faded. He just dares to say these words directly. With the strength of his great warrior, even if all the people here attack the dragon, they won't get any effect. This is when you have absolute strength. You can have confidence. Lao Hu came back in a hurry. Lingen gave him a signal bomb and said that if something was abnormal, it would be set off immediately. Naturally, there would be bodyguards to support him. In this way, the people on Yunwu's side all gathered together and waited quietly, vigilant, on guard against the Snow Devil Wolf that might appear at any time. Others, however, gathered together to laugh at them and then lay down to sleep. In the middle of the night, the temperature gradually dropped, and the people who used to be greedy outside all moved back to the tent. That is, after the others entered the tent, Yunwu found that in addition to them, there was a small team, which seemed to be on guard against the Snow Devil Wolf. Skinny, go over and ask. If they are guarding against Warcraft, just ask them to come together. Because Fat Man is talking about the 5th level of Warcraft, Lao Hu really has no bottom in his heart. Now he really has to come to the point that more than one person is one person. All right. The thin man rubbed his nose and was unwilling to run errands. After a while, the thin man brought back all the members of the team. After Lao Hu saw the leader over there, he suddenly laughed. You can lead the team by yourself? Yunwu looks up at the leader who is familiar with Lao Hu because of Lao Hu's rare real cordial expression. The young man was only 24 or 25 years old. He was not very good-looking, but he was upright and comfortable to look at. Because of Lao Hu's words, the young man gave a shy smile and called Uncle Hu to him. Lao Hu waited until all the people in their team sat down and spoke to Alan. Alan, my people have already told you to come here. Why don't you come here and look down on your Uncle Hu? Alan was a little flustered by Lao Hu. She waved her hand in a hurry, like a child who was scolded by an adult. Uncle Hu, absolutely not. Previously, The people on your side came to see us. I just came back from the outside. I didn't know that you brought this team. If other people didn't go into the tent in the middle of the night, I wouldn't have seen you across from the number 180. Lao Hu snorted from his throat. It seemed that he had been pacified. He turned back to Yunwu and said, "This is Alan. I've been running around in the Warcraft forest for 10 years. I'm a trustworthy person." And Alan is also introducing Lao Hu to his team, basically speaking the same words. The leaders on both sides are acquaintances, so naturally, they are more intimate. Fat Man has a good rest now. He put on his clothes to cover his whole body of white fat. He goes to talk with Alan and his team. The moon is slanting in the west, and the clouds only feel that the temperature is getting lower and lower. She rubbed her pimple arm and looked at the yawning members of the two teams. She also began to have some doubts. If it was level 5 Warcraft, it would have launched an attack long ago. Is the fat man really wrong? Just when Yunwu was confused, the short man on their side complained. "Do you feel colder and colder?" Yunwu looked at the short man and found that he had already put on his long-sleeve coat, and he was exaggeratively wrapped in a thick cloak. At such a glance, Cloud Dance seemed to have a flash of lightning in her mind, which made her smart and numb. Now it's the hottest time. Even in the middle of the night, I feel cooler at most. How can it be so cold? There is only one thing to explain this strange weather phenomenon. Long Qingxia leaned on Yunwu's shoulder and said in a low voice, "It has already come." Yunwu looks at the dragon and is surprised. This man, unexpectedly discovered long ago? However, with his strength, it's strange to find out early. At least 110 people in this camp were frozen back to the tent, and no one noticed anything unusual. Even Cloud Dance, if not happened to have short that sentence, afraid also want to think again to understand. But the dragon has mastered everything. Long Qingxia stretched out his hand and pinched Yunwu's cheek. He said with a smile, "Little thing, just go to bed while it's cool. Don't worry about anything else. There's a husband here. Don't do anything." Cloud Dance slapped off his dishonest paw and gave a low rebuke. Such a scene happened to fall in the fat man's eyes, who looked back at Yunwu because he had no bottom in his heart. That 100% belongs to the action of flirting and scolding. In addition, Long Qingxia's face is by no means out of doting on his younger brother, which makes the fat man feel that he knows something extraordinary. He quickly turned his head away and nearly broke his fat neck. Seeing the eccentric reaction of the fat man, Lao Hu subconsciously took a look at Yunwu. The expression on his face was a little unnatural when he saw the dragon leaning on Yunwu. Fat Man and Lao Hu look at each other and get together to communicate while others don't pay attention. Fat Man, did you find out? Lao Hu, when did you find out? Two old and young men met their heads like brothers in need, and suddenly felt that they had found a real comrade in arms in the world. It's a great psychological burden for them to know such a big secret of a stronger person than themselves. Cloud Dance observed the situation of the players of the two teams, and Lao Hu and Fat Man's quiet and deep vision crossed for a while. Yunwu felt goosebumps on her back. What's the matter with them? The Snow Devil Wolf will not have the ability of mind control, will it? Probably because of the fear of Snow Devil Wolf. People will have any reaction when they are afraid. Long Qingxia is behind the Cloud Dance. He talks nonsense while waving his hand to Lao Hu and Fat Man to signal them to keep quiet. If things get big, how can he feel the pleasure of occasionally taking revenge on a little thing behind his back? It's getting late and the temperature in the camp is getting lower and lower. People who have found this problem have developed from cloud dancing and dragon casting evil spirits to all those who have not yet fallen asleep. Coco, who was sleeping in the tent, came out of the tent drowsily, wrapped in a thin quilt because it was too cold. Coco yawned and asked Hu, "Dad, why is it so cold all of a sudden?" Lao Hu reluctantly smiles and waves Coco to his side. He doesn't know what he's whispering. With the appearance of Coco, other people who had already returned to the tent came out in thick clothes. Those people's expressions are a little unnatural. Almost everyone will either light or dark toward Yunwu. They look at a few. Presumably, they also associate with the sudden cooling. It seems that they have something to do with the Warcraft that the fat man met. Yunwu ignored those people's eyes, embracing her arms and considering the next countermeasures. A warm and thick feeling pressed on her back. When Yunwu looked back, she found that it was Long Qingxia who took a fox fur cape from the space ring that she would use in winter. After Long Qingxia had settled Cloud Dance, he took a pure black fur cape for himself. He advised Cloud Dance, "Don't bother thinking. Snow Devil Wolf doesn't come out. It's useless to think more." Yunwu nodded in silence. "It's true. Now the enemy is dark and we are clear. We are very passive." Other teams close to each other are listening. Now Long Qingxia is sure to say that it is Snow Devil Wolf. People over there are beginning to tremble. This is a serious level 5 Warcraft. On average, they are only a little bit above level 6. When the time comes, Snow Devil Wolf will come. It's very possible that the regiment will be destroyed. The news soon spread around the camp, and almost everyone was whispering to the people around them. Just now, the camp, which was quiet and oppressive, became lively. Before long, the man who laughed at Lao Hu was encouraged by others to come to talk to him as a representative. "Lao Hu, we have to talk about the Snow Devil Wolf." He had an uneasy look on his face, and obviously didn't want to take the job. Lao Hu looked at him lukewarm, did not think he would say anything good. Sure enough, next, the man is very cowardly way. "This Snow Devil Wolf is you provoke come over, shouldn't let everyone with you to bear the risk?" For the first time, Lao Hu really showed a cold face in front of them and said to the man, "Do you mean to let us go?" "Yes and no. We really hope that you can leave the camp, but we mean that the Snow Devil Wolf is recruited by you, so naturally, it's up to you to solve it." When Lao Hu and others heard this, their faces were full of indignation. Snow Devil Wolf is not far away by the lake. It's obvious what's going on. It has long been interested in the prey of this camp and wants to attack here. If it wasn't for the fat man's chance to find out in advance, it's likely that they would have been attacked by Snow Devil Wolf earlier tonight. Cloud Dance tightened the fox fur cape on the tight fitting, went to Lao Hu and others, and looked at the man who was dressed like a black bear. "You mean, let's go and kill the Snow Devil Wolf, so as to fight for your escape time, don't you?" Yunwu's words pierced other people's fig leaf, and many people couldn't help looking away. The bear-like man became angry and said, "It was the Snow Devil Wolf you recruited. Do you want us to accompany you to death?" Lao Hu got up angrily, pointed to the man and said, "Gao Yuan, don't do this with me. Do you think it's my first day in Warcraft Forest? The Snow Devil Wolf has been guarding its prey for a long time. You have been its chosen prey for a long time. Even if we can delay it for a while, you can't run away." Lao Hu's words became the last straw to overwhelm the camel, and the people in the camp, who were in panic, began to retort in a panic. "As you say, are we all going to die with you? That is, who knows if the fat man did something to annoy the Snow Devil Wolf? Anyway, we won't accompany you to make food for Snow Devil Wolf." Yunwu looked at them coldly. Their faces turned white and their lips trembled. It was really boring. Alan gets up steeply and looks around all the people present with some momentum. "You choose to run away like a mouse, and then be broken one by Snow Devil Wolf, or we should try to fight together." Those people who are in constant fear, like inspired by Aaron's words, shut up and began to think in a dilemma. Escape, 99%, or death, stay. Will more array of life? More and more people look around them. The 100 people gradually give them some courage. Although level 5 Warcraft has its power, it doesn't mean that all of them will be destroyed if they are good at level 6 or above. Finally, the first man raised his arm. "I'll stay." This transformation is like a virus, and the previous path to escape once again swept all the people present. "I'll stay too. I'm fighting with that Warcraft. Yes, we have so many people. What are we afraid of? We all stay." Sometimes Yunwu really thinks that the herd mentality of human beings is a terrible thing. At some point, it can even make you forget part of your fear and multiply your inexplicable courage. Long Qingxia came to Yunwu and naturally helped her to arrange the fox hair collar of her cloak. "Xiao Wu, there are so many good hands here. Don't be impulsive for a while. You'll get in the way of others." "Well, I see." Seeing the evil smile in Long Qingxia's eyes, Yunwu immediately realized that he wanted those people to explore the way first. Besides exploring the way, it is also because of those people's previous ridicule of Yunwu. Since they think that Yunwu is just a weak boy with no ability, let them hold this idea and go to fight with Snow Devil Wolf. His women, no matter when, are not allowed to be ridiculed and insulted at will. When Lao Hu and others heard their conversation, they could only sigh in their hearts. These idiots know how to step up and down. Now they're doing well. They're taking most of their lives out. Other people in the camp didn't even express their opinions on this. So the weak people who might accidentally die at any time don't deserve to let them say more. Lao Hu, you will follow our arrangement. The bear liked tall, quite wide shoulders, as if he was the most important person in the camp. Whatever you want. Lao Hu took a look at Yunwu and Longqingxi. Seeing that they didn't say anything, he agreed. When Gao Yuan saw Lao Hu, he had to look at the faces of the two boys. His face showed obvious disdain. Let's make arrangements and send someone to tell you what to do later. Looking at Gao Yuanji leaving with high spirit, Lao Hu snorted and called Cloud Dance. They sat down and gathered around the campfire to get warm. Lao Hu lowered his voice and asked Yunwu and Longqingxia, Xiao Wu, what are your plans? Cloud Dance stretched out her hand to warm the bonfire and took a look at Longqingxia. It was obvious that she was too lazy to explain anything. Longqingxia had no choice but to smile. Longqingxia's dark eyes looked into the darkness, where there was a firefly like white light flashing. He announced in a deep voice, it's coming. Longqingxia's words quickly changed the atmosphere in the camp again. Gao Yuan can't care to challenge Yunwu anymore. He can see the faint whiteness of his tan skin at this time. Aaron took the opportunity to say, now we still need to go to the periphery to guard? Boy, don't worry, when you have an accident. Gao Yuan glared at him angrily and trotted back to more people. At this time, Snow Devil Wolf has completely revealed its extraordinary. It was a giant wolf the size of a lion. It was covered with snow-white and silvery fur. It was slick and beautiful in the moonlight. However, when they saw the Snow Devil Wolf's blue but cold and merciless eyes, their shudder was because of the fear from the bottom of their hearts. When the people in Gao Yuan saw Lao Hu, they did not move, and they were all angry. But at this time, it is obviously unwise to fight against the Snow Devil Wolf. Lao Hu, let's settle the accounts when it's over. Gao Yuan pretended to shout a voice, and then began to accept the fate of the other teams together, set up a defensive formation. It's easy to see the way of the formation there. The weakest people are on the outside. The more they get to the center, the stronger they are. As for Gao Yuan, nature is the center of all people. The thin man said with a strange smile, there are really people willing to die for him. The tall man, who seldom spoke, suddenly accepted his words with no expression. How can it be out of voluntary? But it's just that he is not strong enough and can only be forced to die by stronger people. Yunwu looked at the tall man, but he didn't want to say any more. Longqingxia said lazily, whatever they do. Anyway, there are more of them and less of us. We're not in a hurry. With that, he leaned lazily on Yunwu, leaning on the unsuspecting Yunwu. At this time, you have to sit on your own. Cloud Dance really can't stand the style of dragon pouring evil. Even if it's a brother in front of people, it doesn't stick together all the time. What it looks like. But Yunwu doesn't know. At least in the eyes of Lao Hu and Fat Man, they are not pure brothers. Longqingxia looked at the Cloud Dance with a smile, but he didn't reply because of the large number of people. He just set his deep eyes on the Snow Devil Wolf near the camp. The white giant wolf seems to be thinking about whether it should take action when so many humans wake up and are on guard. Gao Yuan and others swallow saliva, waiting for the slow flow of time. Everyone prayed in their hearts to let the Snow Devil Wolf retreat and leave quickly. Longqingxia looked at the Snow Devil Wolf lazily, glanced at the Cloud Dance from the corner of his eye, and quietly hooked his lips. The action was so small that no one present found it, and his dragon-cheeing evil show that few can't observe smile after. Snow Devil Wolf, suddenly some restlessness. It paced back and forth in place for 2 circles. The pair of ice-blue eyes closely watched the fat man hiding in the crowd. The fat man's guilty body was shaking. He doesn't recognize me, does he? The thin man made a few dry and hard whispers. Fat man, I think it has a crush on you. Would you like to communicate with it? The fat man kicked him and said, Why don't you communicate? I can't say it likes lean meat. When they quarreled, the snow devil wolf seemed to have made a decision. It came to Laohu, a small man. When things get to this point, people in Gaoyuan are naturally happy to see it come true. They all look at them with schadenfreude eyes. Make it clear that Snow Devil Wolf is looking for the fat man. It's better to eat the fat man, and then eat a few people in the team, and then go quickly. It doesn't matter who died, as long as it's not themselves. Cloud Dance looked at those people's ugly appearance at the moment of life and death, and his eyes were almost frozen. However, this is human nature. Fat Man looked at Snow Devil Wolf really came. Also did not have the heart to quarrel with Thin Man. Xiao Wu, can you save your brother? Fat Man spoke with a cry cavity, a fat, very rhythmic shaking out of a circle of waves, speak or shivering. Dragon Ching Evil Eyebrow Pika Pick languidly said, That is 5 levels of Warcraft are high-grade goods. My brother may not be able to save. Fat Man, you'd better work hard. Fat Man is really about to be betrayed by Dragon's heresy at this moment. He almost tears. The wolf's eyes, like the blue ice, make the Fat Man have the illusion of falling into the ice cave. The next second, the Fat Man realized, this is not an illusion. It really recognized her. But with the Snow Devil Wolf approaching, the temperature on their side has been unbearably low. The grass on the ground withered quickly, and fat people began to breathe with white air. It's a hot summer, but here they are. It's like a cold winter. Fat Man thinks that if it goes on like this, even if it's not bitten to death by Snow Devil Wolf, it won't be long before it will freeze to death. As soon as he gritted his teeth, he pulled out a long sword he was carrying and dyed a fierce color on his face. Fight, fight. The voice is not falling. The Fat Man has used with his body shape is not consistent with the agility. Rush to the periphery of their circle. Be careful yourself. If you can't, you'll run. Anyway, it won't let me go. I'll buy you some time. Cloud Dance looks at the figure of Fat Man standing not far away. It seems a little unexpected. This Fat Man has been acting unreliable, afraid of death to almost shock. Did not expect there is such a side. So it seems that the Fat Man can help. Snow Devil Wolf is like a king who inspects his territory. He looks at the Fat Man contemptuously. He is very humanized and seems to complain that his fat meat is not delicious. However, in spite of this, Snow Devil Wolf still looked around the Fat Man and launched an attack. The powerful giant wolf sprang up from the ground, jumped into the air easily, and rushed towards the Fat Man. Why did you take a surprise attack? The Fat Man gave a strange cry and rolled on the ground in an awkward posture, which could avoid the Snow Devil Wolf's first trial. However, when he stopped rolling, as soon as he raised his eyes, the Snow Devil Wolf had already come a step away from it, covetous. The Cloud Dance finally had the cognition to the Snow Devil Wolf's speed. In the heart surprised unceasingly. In the short time just now, she almost only saw a flash of white shadow, and the Snow Devil Wolf had changed its position. In this case, even if she goes to war, I'm afraid she will suffer a great loss. Just when Yunwu thought about it, the Fat Man who ran away finally began to fight back. Your uncles, I will fight with you today. The Fat Man roared and filled his sword with fighting spirit. There was a layer of blood in his eyes. It looked terrible. Snow Devil Wolf was stunned by the momentum of the fleeing prey. He didn't understand how the human suddenly changed his personality. That is to say, taking advantage of the gap between the Snow Devil Wolf and the god. The Fat Man soared with all his strength, with the momentum of splitting mountains and seas, chopped at the Snow Devil Wolf. Super fast speed is the instinct of Snow Devil Wolf. At the moment when the Fat Man wields his sword, it moves to the other side. However, it may be that human potential can really explode. The Fat Man, who has been playing with Snow Devil Wolf all the time, gave him a wound with his sword before Snow Devil Wolf moved away. Oh, then the wound opened on the Snow Devil Wolf's neck. It wailed and stepped back 2 steps. In the end, it is because of the speed of the Snow Devil Wolf that the Fat Man can't find the right direction. Its wound is not too deep, but there is still a lot of blood. The snow-white fur is soaked with blood. Strangely, the blood of Snow Devil Wolf is also blue. The white fur seems to be dyed with a colorful pattern by blue blood, which adds a sense of terror to Snow Devil Wolf. The people in Gaoyuan sent out bursts of exclamations. This fat man, who seems to have the same strength as them, can actually leave wounds to the 5th level high-level warcraft? The wound obviously gave Snow Devil Wolf a lot of stimulation. It a pair of ice-like blue eyes staring at the fat man. That look in the eyes clearly is the iron heart. Want to put fat dead tear up can solve hate. Grandfather is really going to die in your hands. Fat man, after that blow, the whole person is dispirited down. His face pale, legs tremble, can't stand. Cloud Dance frowns at fat man. Always feel that he seems to be just a little thin. Long Qingxia raises his eyebrows unexpectedly. He actually has the ability to improve his ability by force. Long Qingxia's words aroused the interest of Cloud Dance. Fat Man's breath just now was still in the middle of the 6th level, but that attack, I'm afraid, could be close to the middle of the 8th level? Although want to know this inside story very much, but Dragon Qing evil but take Xiao similar, didn't open mouth to explain to her. Let Cloud Dance is speechless, but at this time, the Fat Man's state is at the end of the crossbow. The Snow Devil Wolf can kill him with a blow at will. The Snow Devil Wolf is bowing its powerful nape and is about to rush to tear up the human who dares to hurt it. Another breath comes out of the crowd. The fat man turned to look at Yunwu and said with a bitter smile, "Xiao Wu, my brother is not joking with you. Hurry up and take people away." Although just now they all said with Gao Yuan that the Snow Devil Wolf had been here for a long time, but in the fat man's heart, he still felt that maybe he provoked the Snow Devil Wolf. Under such circumstances, he was really embarrassed to drag others to death. Yunwu stepped out of the crowd and naturally did not intend to turn back. Under the sight of the Snow Devil Wolf, he went to help the fat man. The weight of the fat man was as heavy as a hill, and his hands sank. Cloud Dance, forced to support the fat man, said to him, "Go what? Just you didn't want me to save you? I haven't played against Warcraft at level 5, so today is the time to accumulate experience. Take the fat man." With that, Yunwu pushes the fat man. Lao Hu and others rush to catch the fat man and almost let him die. Snow Devil Wolf has just suffered a big loss on Fat Man. At this time, he is very angry. However, the Snow Devil Wolf is more thoughtful and humanized than the ordinary level 5 Warcraft. This time, it seems that he doesn't dare to be his rival. Seeing the Cloud Dance appearing, he only stands ready to go and observes the strength of the Cloud Dance. Snow Devil Wolf and Cloud Dance confrontation, the whole camp again quiet down. Those who once mocked and despised Yunwu all showed disdainful smile after Yunwu took the initiative to stand up. Although fat people have never been in touch with the means of forcibly improving their ability just now, most of them have heard of it. Now look at the fat man's dispirited breath. You can see that he has paid a big price. However, he just left a wound on the Snow Devil Wolf and did not cause any substantial damage to it. To this step, in fact, everyone's heart to defeat Snow Devil Wolf have no much hope. Now the appearance of Cloud Dance in their eyes is simply a mantis arm in the way of the car. Brother Longxi, can Xiaowu really do it? Alan, worried looking at Cloud Dance, asked a sentence to Dragon Qingxia. Wearing that heavy fox fur cape, the body of Cloud Dancing looks like it is wrapped in the night by the cape, even weaker. Long Qingxia didn't answer Alan, but he was obsessed with the figure of Cloud Dance. His woman is so handsome. The night wind is more and more intense, with a piercing chill, through the clothes and skin, straight to the bones and muscles. Cold people feel bones are beginning to ache. Snow Devil Wolf observed the Cloud Dance for a long time, and found that this human is not great except for its powerful momentum. His ice-blue wolf's eyes twinkled with a merciless and bloodthirsty light. What he had just suffered from the fat man, now he can find some from this dry little human. The howling wind blows the withered and yellow weeds to one side. There is a thin sword in Yunwu's hand. Now she is more and more proficient in using space bracelets, and she can use things only with her mind in a moment. When he saw the thin sword, the Snow Devil Wolf wanted to attack. But in the next second, belonged to Warcraft's special sense of danger, as if to feel a threat, in the eyes of people cannot believe, even a little back some. However, it soon returned to its previous proud appearance. Cloud Dance will Snow Devil Wolf's reaction in the eyes, juvenile face, with a little ironic smile. The smile quickly angered the Snow Devil Wolf. He let out a low roar. His strong limbs were tight, and his huge body was like a bowstring arrow, rushing toward the cloud. Yunwu just watched the battle between Fat Man and Snow Devil Wolf, so he paid great attention to the speed of Snow Devil Wolf. Before feeling the Snow Devil Wolf's power, Yunwu has poured the power into the fine sword. The body of the sword is buzzing. A dazzling flame is drawing a curve with black smoke in the middle of the sky, with a palpitating hot temperature, throwing sparks to the fast-moving white shadow. Just when Yunwu thought that she would stab the Snow Devil Wolf with the sword, she saw the white shadow that was about to rush in front of her, but it suddenly blurred, and then disappeared completely. Cloud Dance Harda Lin, closed sword left and right to look around. But Snow Devil Wolf has completely disappeared in general, unable to find that white trace. To tell you the truth, for a second, Yunwu was a little surprised. But soon, Convergence heart wave, shoulders slightly sinking, the whole person is like a stopped javelin. Eyes half open and half close, mental power is directly in that moment, spread around. However, in everyone's eyes, Yunwu seems to have fallen into a semi-sleeping state. People outside the battle are curious about Yunwu's action. Is she going to abandon herself, waiting for Snow Devil Wolf to appear and bite her to death? However, how can Yunwu be such a person who easily give up and give up? She just completely precipitated her consciousness and let her spiritual power merge with nature within 100 meters, so as to feel the existence of Snow Devil Wolf. The consciousness of Cloud Dance first sinks into itself, then flows along the meridians like invisible air, seems to evaporate out of the pores, and spreads around. At that moment, the sound of wind, water, insects, and even the beating of other people's hearts were all clear in Yunwu's mind. Cloud Dance sighed cautious perception of all the outside world, while in the heart is secretly surprised. Her mental strength is so much thicker than before. It turns out that after absorbing the oppression of Hyo and her spiritual power, she just doubled her spiritual power, but she didn't realize it. Is this a miracle? However, in the use of her mental power, she also found that the power of witchcraft in his body seems to have improved a little. Is there a trace of witchcraft in her body that needs to be stronger before she can improve? Cloud Dance doesn't dare to be too distracted. This Snow Devil Wolf, even if she uses her whole body strength, still dare not underestimate. Suddenly, the killing intention from behind makes Yunwu cool. Cloud Dance suddenly opened his eyes, the dark eyes at this time like two deep bottomless spiral nests, strands of purple around them. They didn't see how Chu Yunwu moved at all, so they heard a wail burst out behind her. At this time, everyone saw it. Yunwu turns around and attacks. The sword penetrates the Snow Wolf's left shoulder straightly. The blue hot body flows out along the wound of the Snow Wolf's left shoulder and dyes the white fur of its left front leg blue. On the thin sword in Yunwu's hand, the flame soared for a moment and evaporated the blue liquid on the sword. The body of the sword wrapped by the flame is shining with the cold light opposite to the flame. Those who once spoke rudely to the cloud all have a sense of suffocation that the blade of the sword passed through their heart. Snow Devil Wolf obviously rarely, or even never, suffered this kind of damage in human beings. It lowers its head, licks its own wound, bares its sharp teeth, and sends out a threat to Yunwu. Cloud Dance Cold Eye glanced at it one eye. Cold Way? Your teeth are used to tear up the enemy, not to scare people? Snow Devil Wolf doesn't understand Yunwu's words, but Yunwu's aloof attitude can make it feel completely. It is extremely angry, but dare not attack easily. Twice belittle the enemy, let it more and more seriously injured. To its this class of warcraft, will not do that kind of only know to fight to death. Gao Yuan saw Cloud Dance and Snow Devil Wolf fall into confrontation again, and his heart almost jumped out of his heart. Impulsively, he shouts to Yunwu, "Kill it soon!" Cloud Dance and Snow Devil Wolf sweep to Gao Yuan with cold eyes at the same time. The eyes can't tell who is more fierce than who, which makes Gao Yuan have the illusion that maybe they are the same kind. If you don't kill it now, you will die first. Gao Yuan restrained the trembling of his heart and gave orders to Yunwu. Finally, Gao Yuan added a threat. If you don't do it again, I'll find a way to help you. Long Qingxia looks at Gao Yuan without any emotion. His eyes are like looking at a dead man. Although Lao Hu and others are not happy with the high threat in their hearts, they really need to count on Yunwu to defeat Snow Devil Wolf before they have a chance of survival. Unexpectedly, Yunwu said to Gao Yuan, "Since you are in such a hurry, let it be yours." Gao Yuan's face turned blue. I didn't expect Yunwu to be so cruel. Then, Yunwu, holding a fine sword, made a gesture of no longer attacking the Snow Devil Wolf and stepped back a few steps. Snow Devil Wolf doesn't understand why Cloud Dance suddenly retreats, but it knows the strong killing intention released by the human just now. Different from Cloud Dance, which is an invisible opponent, the human power can be seen at a glance. After weighing the two, Snow Devil Wolf took another look at the temporarily harmless Cloud Dance. Finally, he paced to the height where he almost had to sit down with soft legs. Gao Yuan's face was covered with cold sweat. When he was staring at by Snow Devil Wolf's eyes, he smelled the smell of death. He didn't dare to move away the sight of the Snow Devil Wolf. His voice was extremely sad and shrill, accusing Cloud Dance. "Why did you do that? You mean it? You want to kill me?" Yunwu leisurely walked back to Lao Hu, and they had no guilt for Gao Yuan's harsh accusation. "Aren't you in a hurry to kill it? Since you are not satisfied with my speed, let you do it yourself." In this way, people from both Gao Yuan and Lao Hu feel that their throats are tight. They looked down upon the young man, and finally, the first one to get the retribution appeared. But Lao Hu and his friends are just celebrating. They are friends, not enemies. Gao Yuan knows that he has no room to retreat now. He will die if he doesn't fight. "Everyone cover me. I'll find a chance to kill this beast." When he said this, the response to him was the crowd in front of him, like the Red Sea of Moses. Gao Yuan stares at those who dare not look at him. Unexpectedly, they let him die. However, he did not think that his initial arrangements were just for his own life to let others die for him. In the twinkling of an eye, the crowd all scattered towards both sides. Snow Devil Wolf looked like being worshipped, arrogantly toward the high. The distance between one man and one wolf is getting closer and closer. "Am I not as good as a suckling boy?" Gao Yuan's eyes were all red. He drew out his sword and burst out like gunpowder. Everyone knew that he was going to risk his life. However, Gao Yuan's fighting resistance is not worth mentioning in the eyes of Snow Devil Wolf. The ice-blue wolf eye looks at Gao Yuan mercilessly. The next second, the white shadow flashes, and the Snow Devil Wolf's figure disappears in the same place. It is like as two peas before it was used to deal with cloud dancing. At this time, Gao Yuan still had some luck. Even the boy could detect the attack of Snow Devil Wolf. Of course he could. The night wind blows the trees and leaves rustle down. Gao Yuan was surprised and used all his strength to attack in that direction. When the hand that moment, Gao Yuan's heart suddenly cold. There's nothing there. When Gao Yuan realized this, Snow Devil Wolf's huge figure appeared quietly behind him. The huge shadow will cover Gao Yuan. Before he even has time to look back, he is knocked down on the ground by Snow Devil Wolf. Strong and powerful wolf claws slap Gao Yuan down. The sound of bone fragmentation crackles. Gao Yuan poof spurts out a mouthful of blood. Red blood in the air presents a fog, like a piece of red smoke. When Gao Yuan's body falls to the ground heavily, it makes a sound that is not like humans' pain. This series of voices, like the death knell, ring in everyone's ears. Snow Devil Wolf's claw is pressing Gao Yuan's strength. Suddenly, it explodes his whole upper body directly from his back. Blood splashes everywhere. Gao Yuan's chest collapses into a pile of fuzzy broken bones and rotten meat. The man who thought he was king in this camp not long ago has died completely. Then something even more chilling happened. Gao Yuan's body freezes under Snow Devil Wolf's claws and finally becomes an ice sculpture. Under the cold moonlight, There was a bright reflection on the ice sculpture. Snow Devil Wolf grinned, showing white fangs, looking like a ferocious smile. He looked down at the high corpse and was satisfied with his masterpiece. Then, it lowers its head, one bite at a time, and eats the ice sculpture made by it. Click, click. The sound of the broken ice was heard one after another. Everyone was in a trance and had the illusion that he was eaten by the Snow Devil Wolf. The broken ice splashed to the surrounding ground, and the big mouth of the Snow Devil Wolf soon devoured the ice sculpture, or the dead Gao Yuan. Gao Yuan, as if he had never existed in this world, completely disappeared. Snow Devil Wolf's cruel means of hunting destroyed most people's resistance to it. This Snow Devil Wolf is so powerful. In front of such a warcraft, they are so small, just like mole ants, which can only become its food. The group of people who used to follow in the distance retreated step by step, surrounded by boundless darkness. The piercing cold wind was whistling all the time, which made people feel painful. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Please. The first person who broke down appeared. He knelt down on his knees and kowtowed to the Snow Devil Wolf. His face was full of tears. He looked too frightened to speak. More and more people choose to give up their self-esteem and prostrate themselves to a warcraft, as if they are worshipping the king or death. Cloud Dance looked at them indifferently, with no sympathy in mind. The law of the jungle: if you are a weak person, you can even give up your dignity. What's the meaning of living for such a person? Coco was so scared by what just happened that she shrank in Lao Hu's arms and couldn't even speak. Fat Man panted weakly. As the only one who had ever fought with Snow Devil Wolf except Yunwu, his eyes were full of despair. I can kneel down to a beast. The desire of these people to survive is so strong that I feel sorry for myself. Long Qingxie sneered, with disdain in his eyes, and said sarcastically, he and Yunwu are the same kind of people. For them, even death will not accept any humiliation. A land with people, rushed out of a middle-aged man, ran to the dragon in front of the evil. What's wrong with not wanting to die? You're not afraid to die. Go and kill that warcraft. The middle-aged man rushed to the shock of reason and roared at the dragon. Alan wants to stop him when he rushes out, but it's a step too late. Hearing the middle-aged man's words, Alan dragged him back with a sad face. Uncle Jiu, don't talk about it. We'll be fine if they're here. Now the boy named Xiao Wu and his elder brother Long Si are the last hope of everyone. He can't let the middle-aged people infuriate Long Si. If their two brothers leave, they will really die. Dragon Qing evil light looking at that man. I ground does not take half-cent emotion. That look in the eyes, more icy than Snow Devil Wolf's eyes. If you have the ability, fight for your own life. If you don't have the ability, admit it. 9 Uncle listened to his words. The face is covered by the color of despair. Finally can't resist the pressure, broke into tears. Not far away, Snow Devil Wolf is killing its prey one by one. In the face of human beings running around, it seems to get a new pleasure. After hurting them and making them unable to escape, it goes to find the next target and enjoys it. The bleak cry for help, the cry of despair, the groan of pain, all joined together in the camp. Shuddering, Old Hu took out the signal bomb Ling and gave him and opened the fuse. The signal bomb flew into the sky and exploded a colorful fireworks in the night. Yunwu was annoyed by the noise. She stood up and looked at the people who were like the bereaved dogs. Finally, she had a little action. Once under the Snow Devil Wolf claw, intact survival, even can let the Snow Devil Wolf slightly afraid of Cloud Dance, has been the focus of all people. As she stood up, everyone followed her movements and looked up at her as if he were looking at a god who could save himself. The momentum of Cloud Dance also makes Snow Devil Wolf feel. It stopped the cat and mouse game, turned to face the clouds, just some hunting, so that it belongs to the beast's blood boiling up. In the face of this human who once gave himself a heavy blow, he now, very, very much, wants him to become an ice sculpture and be swallowed by himself. Cloud Dance hands appear again, that handle of flame-shrouded thin sword. She attentively found Snow Devil Wolf's shoulder wound has healed. It seems that eating Gao Yuan is its way of healing. Fortunately, It hasn't eaten more people yet. Long Qingxia, who has been letting Cloud Dance fight with Snow Devil Wolf, suddenly reaches out his hand and stops her. Xiao Wu, I'll go. Cloud Dance looked at him, did not speak, straight to the Snow Devil Wolf. It's her opponent, and she doesn't need anyone to step in. This is the pride of Cloud Dance. Long Qingxia knew the idea of Cloud Dance. Instead of forcibly stopping her, he stepped back and let her go. Lao Hu and others originally saw that Long Qingxia wanted to take action, but they thought that things had greater hope. After all, it's better for two people to join hands than for one. Snow Devil Wolf's scarlet tongue stretched out and licked the corner of his mouth. When he grinned, his expression was so ferocious that Yunwu felt disgusted. Get the injured out of my way. Cloud Dance head also didn't return of command A. At first, no one dares to carry away the injured people, but Lao Hu and Alan are the first to walk cautiously. After confirming that Snow Devil Wolf's attention is on Cloud Dance, they quickly drag back a wounded person. Other people see this scene, also have the courage with the fastest speed, the guys who cannot move together. In the face of Snow Devil Wolf, Yunwu knows that now is not the time for her to blindly hide her strength. Unless she wants to die, or she wants to rely on the dragon to save her. Yunwu raises the thin sword, cuts a hole on the index finger, and the blood flows out. She will blood in his eyebrow point, white skin, as a clear guanine mole. The smell of blood stimulated the Snow Devil Wolf. It roared at the Cloud Dance and felt the different breath in the blood of the Cloud Dance. Eating this human, for it, must be more beneficial. When Snow Devil Wolf greedily pours on Yunwu, Yunwu's own breath suddenly rises. Middle 6th stage, early 7th stage. The breath of Cloud Dance flew all the way to the peak of the 7th level in the eyes of everyone, and then it stopped like a sudden break. Snow Devil Wolf found that it was too late for him to feel afraid of the Cloud Dance. That is always wrapped in flame, fierce thin sword, this time silent. The flame on the sword body is like flowing magma, surging with the power of terror under calm. Cloud Dance raises the fine sword, delimits to Snow Devil Wolf's strong neck. Blue blood gushed out, a few drops splashed on Yunwu's face. Snow Devil Wolf rolled down in the air. A deep gully with several visible bones appeared at the neck, and the blue blood gushed out like a spring. The howling of wild animals is even more terrifying on such a dark and cold night. Lao Hu and others have been completely stupid. They did guess that the power of Cloud Dance might be stronger than what she showed. However, no one has the courage to guess that she has reached the top of the 7th level at such an age. This time, they may really be saved. Cloud Dance looked at the Snow Devil Wolf rolling on the ground, not as optimistic as Lao Hu and them. Sure enough, Snow Devil Wolf's wound healed quickly at the speed visible to the naked eye. At this time, Yunwu realized that no wonder, as a 5th-level warcraft, it would patiently wait around the camp, waiting for an opportunity to attack humans. It seems that eating a human is of great help to it. After the wound healed, the Snow Devil Wolf, who was completely angered, gave out a long howl to Yunwu. In a flash, others can only see a string of white shadows flying in front of the clouds. No one can tell which white shadow is the real Snow Devil Wolf. And with the white shadow around Yunwu, Yunwu himself also found something. The temperature around her is dropping fast. Not a long time later, Yunwu's hair and eyebrows were covered with a thin layer of frost. If it goes on like this, soon her blood will freeze, her hands and feet will be stiff, and she will become the same ice sculpture as Gao Yuan. Damn it! Long Qingxia's fierce black eyes shrank the Cloud Dance surrounded by white shadow. Compared with the calm Cloud Dance, his heart was held by an invisible hand and raised high. Yunwu, who is in the shadow of white, also knows that the most important thing now is not to delay. Yunwu thinks quickly, and her eyes are bright. The power flowing on the thin sword is like magma, which flows back to the Cloud Dancing body. She coagulates the whole body strength to swim along the meridians again and again, and the steaming fog melts the chill on her body. Then, a more bizarre scene happened. Cloud Dance body, tongue up a thin layer of flame, the flame close to her, but did not hurt her. When the cold brought by the snow devil wolf is useless to Yunwu, Yunwu once again uses the spiritual power to find out the real position of the snow devil wolf. This time, Yunwu directly closed her eyes completely. After blocking the visual interference, everything around her was clearly reflected in her mind. Those white shadows are getting slower and slower. When a clear beast body appears, Yunwu suddenly raises his hand, and his whole body strength converges to the sword body in an instant, stabbing at an empty position behind him. With her sword, Snow Devil Wolf's huge body also appeared. This time, the Snow Devil Wolf has always been on guard. The sword of Cloud Dance just cuts off a piece of skin on its body, not a big wound. The next scene, once again let the camp hope to be rescued, was beaten back to the abyss of despair. Snow Devil Wolf's body healed again. That monster, can't it die? The thin man gritted his teeth and scolded. If it goes on like this, even if Cloud Dance has the strength of the 7th level peak, it will be dragged by the Snow Devil Wolf sooner or later until it runs out of strength and dies. Long Qingxia looks at the stubborn Cloud Dance and sighs silently. Without any hesitation, he walked towards Yunwu. Snow Devil Wolf was hurt by Cloud Dance again and again, but it never brought any substantial damage to Cloud Dance. Such humiliation made it more and more fierce and violent. However, it does not know that its real death is coming. Dragon Qing Evil with a Yang, a golden fly to tear the air, straight into the Snow Devil Wolf's shoulder. It didn't even have time to react, so it suffered such an injury. Soon, the Snow Devil Wolf was frightened to find that the wound caused by the dart could not be healed. It looks at the dragon walking towards the leisure court, and the warcraft that has been swaggering in front of human beings begins to have fear. Long Qingxia put his hand on Yunwu's shoulder and said softly, "I'll take this Snow Devil Wolf. Soon, you can catch the 5th level warcraft by yourself, just like this one." Cloud Dance is not willing to look at the Snow Devil Wolf that grins and growls to himself, and holds the fine sword in his hand, unwilling to retreat like this. She doesn't really have nothing to do with this Snow Devil Wolf. She has her cards. However, she has now exposed her real strength. Yunwu doesn't want to use the remaining cards easily. A 5th level warcraft, if all need to use the card of Baomingdu, how can she go on this alien road? Yunwu's wrist moved, and the thin sword disappeared in her hands. Be careful. Although we know that the strength of Dragon Qingxia is much stronger than ourselves, Cloud Dance still asks before leaving. Because of these 3 simple words, there is a rare knowing smile on Long Qingxia's face. It's just a 5th order warcraft. Don't worry. In spite of the public's eyes, Long Qingxia pulls Yunwu into his arms for a while, and then lets her go. Although it is such a critical moment of life and death, there are still many people have a different feeling on this issue. That kind of hug, especially the expression of Dragon Qingxia. It's not like a brother, it's like a couple. Yunwu is very uncomfortable with the embrace of Long Qingxi, but when she wants to push it away, Long Qingxi already holds the épée and walks towards the Snow Devil Wolf. Yunwu returns to the camp. In other people's strange eyes, she looks at the one-sided crush of the Snow Devil Wolf by Dragon Qingxia. Yes, it's just like Snow Devil Wolf hunting other people before. It's totally different in strength. Snow Devil Wolf proud of the speed is not worth mentioning at all. Long Qingxia can always be faster than it one step ahead of time to seize the opportunity. Soon, Snow Devil Wolf's snow-white fur scarred, blue blood soaked with its fur. Wet fur close to the Snow Devil Wolf's strong body, but full of scars, let it look more and more embarrassed. The dragon's action is always very simple, as if it is just a random sideways step sword. But every time, it was so accurate that it left more and more wounds on the Snow Devil Wolf. In the end, the Snow Devil Wolf devours Gao Yuan's strength and finally runs out, unable to heal for him. Everyone felt that the time passed very long, but they felt that the time ran very fast. Just in a short time, every movement of Dragon's evil spirit was shown in front of them like a slow-motion camera. And when all the dust settled, the Snow Devil Wolf, which made them desperate, was on the verge of death and could not stand up on the ground. Long Qingxia looked down at the Snow Devil Wolf, who could only give out a weak whimper, and approached step by step with the épée in his hand. Snow Devil Wolf's voice trembled, and his eyes even showed some weakness and pleading expression when human beings begged for mercy. However, these are useless in front of the dragon. Puff! The sound of the blade, penetrating through the skin, is so clear that the Snow Devil Wolf with little power suffered the last blow. Ice blue eyes gradually lose luster, and finally become a dead silence. Am I dreaming? Thin Man shook God's self-talk, even raised his hand to give himself a loud slap. The pain made him laugh like a psychopath. Little things, they are regarded as rare treasures. How do you feel? The rare treasure is you. Don't bind me to you. Cloud Dance also some care about the last Snow Devil Wolf was Dragon Qingxia. Easily clean up this matter. Some pimple in the heart. Long Qingxia chuckled, pasted it in Yunwu's ear and asked her in a low voice, "Little thing, do you think that husband is a rare treasure? I think you're a rag." Yunwu bends her arm and gives Long Qingxi a turn behind her. Long Qingxi responds quickly to avoid it, but she pretends to be in pain and refuses to let go. "Little thing, you are murdering your husband. Come on, give him some compensation." Long Qingxia tilts Cloud Dance. Although Cloud Dance has been resisting, it is still kissed by Long Qingxia on the tip of White Jade's ear. The delicate touch and warm breath on Long Qingxia's lips make Yunwu feel embarrassed. She looked up and saw Lao Hu. They were all red-faced and secretly looking at this side. Think of Now and Dragon Qing evil, our male identity, even call each other brotherhood, immediately in the head of a bang. Stay away from me. Don't be so shameless with me all the time. Cloud Dance suddenly sink face. A push away dragon pour evil. Snow Devil Wolf after death temperature gradually rise. Seeing that the man wants to stick his face, Yunwu takes off the fox fur cloak that Dragon Qingxia put on her and hits him in the face. As soon as the dragon's evil detective grasped it, he put the cloak in his arms without any embarrassment. "Little things, you are very considerate. You should leave the clothes you wear for your husband, so that he can treasure them." Long Qingxia didn't want Yunwu to get angry. He still kept his voice light. Only the two of them could hear him. "Don't talk nonsense." Yunwu grins at the dragon, grins at her like a rogue, and puts the cape back into the space. Anyway, under the shameless degree of dragon's evil, what she does will give dragon's evil reason to say dirty words. Today, if she didn't return the cloak to Long Qingxia, she would have accepted the token of love. Well, don't be angry. I promise you that when you can get out of Warcraft Forest, you can catch a snow wolf and peel it to make a new cloak. How about that? Cloud Dance think of the strength gap between himself and dragon. This Snow Devil Wolf is a too clear watershed. If you can really hunt Snow Devil Wolf alone, it's also a representative. She has a lot of strength. After all, Long Qingxia made a promise with her at the beginning. How are you going to help me improve my strength then? Long Qingxia narrowed his eyes, and there was a twinkle in his eyes. Secret, if you please me, I will tell you. Cloud Dance OA, not deceived way. Love to say not to say anyway when I will know. Long Qingxia also wants to tease the clouds for a few more words, so Lingen comes with many bodyguards. This is Snow Devil Wolf? Lingen was stunned and looked at the warcraft being skinned on the ground. He was so surprised that he couldn't close his mouth. This is the 5th level warcraft. How can you die here? Lao Hu and they looked at each other and explained to Lingen according to the words they had just set up. The first one who opened his voice was Thin. He nodded his head and said, "Yes, this Snow Devil Wolf seems to be injured. After arriving here, he still wants to eat people." After that, Alan and several of them started to talk nonsense. "We thought that left and right is a death, so we joined hands to fight with it, thanks to our luck. Unfortunately, Gao Yuan's luck is a little bit worse." In the end, Lao Hu said, "Yes, you can see that many of them were injured, but one of them died." Lingen listened to their words and looked at the wounded of dozens of people. The color of doubt on her face faded a lot. There are more than 100 people here. They can attack and kill the Snow Devil Wolf of level 5, although they still feel a little unreliable. However, coupled with the high level of risking one's life, the credibility is much stronger. It's really the face of death that can stimulate people's extraordinary potential. These injured people, you arrange to send them away. I'll double the commission and give them another part of the medicine money. After Lingen explained these, he left with the bodyguard. Now Nangong is poisoned, and all his strength can't be used. Lingen is very worried about leaving him. After Lingen is dealt with, Lao Hu and others tear down the snow devil wolf directly. Everything from teeth to bones that can be sold for money is left. As for the snow devil wolf's meat, because the meat was too hard, it was simply thrown into the distant woods by the old Hu's emissary. Yunwu had no interest in these things, and her purpose of entering Warcraft Forest was never to make a living. But when Lao Hu came over with something carefully and mysteriously, Yunwu couldn't help picking his eyebrows. "Uncle Hu, what's this?" Old Hu expression some flustered, embarrassed to Cloud Dance way. "Small 5, you call me Old Hu can, Old Hu can. I'm used to calling you Uncle Hu, so I won't change. What are you holding?" Yunwu knows that Lao Hu and them are not afraid to ignore her and the dragon because of the difference in strength, so they are all a little nervous. No matter, no matter. It can be seen that Yunwu doesn't want to be too unfamiliar with himself, which makes Lao Hu happy. Yunwu even sees pride on his bearded face. Lao Hu showed Cloud Dance what he was holding in his hand, and his tone was a little excited. "Xiao Wu, this is the core of the 5th Order Warcraft that we took from the head of Snow Devil Wolf. Magic core? I found this thing in fact, when I entered Warcraft Forest for the first time before, I was asked to do it by the Samurai Academy. Of course, they were all low-level magic cores. The Snow Devil Wolf is a 5th Order Warcraft, and naturally has a magic core. Yunwu took the Cold Demon core from Lao Hu. As soon as he got it, he felt a chill in his palm. The magic core is not very big, but just the right size on the palm. The core itself is almost transparent crystal-like object, with bursts of inging blue light in it. It looks very beautiful. This Snow Devil Wolf was hunted by you and your brother. We will give you most of the money after we sell it. However, the core of the 5th level Warcraft is precious, so we won't take advantage of it." Lao Hu explained the matter a little. Because of the strength of level 5 Warcraft, level 5 and above magic cores are very rare in the market. This is also the decision he made after discussing with Alan and others. The magic of level 5 Warcraft is very tempting to them. However, if you can use this magic core in exchange for the favor of Cloud Dance and Dragon Qingxia, for them, the value is definitely much greater than a magic core. Long Qingxia is not interested in the core of the 5th level Warcraft. I want to know that for a man who can easily hunt Snow Devil Wolf, this kind of 5-level magic core is just as much as he wants. It's not worth mentioning at all. What's more, he also has a dragon pavilion, which is as rich as any other country. Now he leaves without saying hello. Yunwu has the illusion of being left behind. "Xiao Wu, take a rest. I'll call you when lunch is ready." Alancy Cloud Dance seems to be in a bad mood, no longer say anything. Long Qingxia is not here. Yunwu finds out that she doesn't even have anyone to talk to. Bored, Yunwu returns to the tent, meditates, and sinks his spirit into the sea of consciousness and enters the Hall of Chaos. This time, Hayo didn't sit in the Chaos Hall in a daze, but was reading a book that didn't know where it came from. Seeing the Cloud Dance coming, Hayo closes the book, and the book disappears like the black fog on Hayo's body. Cloud Dance points to Black Proud Empty Hand to ask away. "Where come of book? I've lived so long, and I have a few books. It's normal." Hearing that Hayo claimed to be my seat, Yunwu immediately understood that he was not willing to say more about those things. However, Yunwu has never been a person who can get to the bottom of the matter and dig up gossip. Hayo doesn't say it, so she talks about the business. "Hayo, you said before that Danfeng can make you recover your strength. Tell me about all the other materials." Hayo is not as keen on it as Yunwu imagined. He seems to be more and more calm about the recovery of strength. Although other materials are easy to find compared with Wudu Stone, they are not accessible to your current level. You always have to tell me first that in case I meet you, I can keep things. Black AO to Cloud Dance insist helpless, while Danfeng all told Cloud Dance. In addition to the 5 venom stones used to make medicine and the venom of the man-eating snake used to evoke medicine, I also need Emerald Vine, Zhelan Grass, and a 7th level Warcraft core with that. Hayo shakes his head and smiles without any hope. After listening to Cloud Dance, he also frowned. Fiketing and Zelenko are actually recorded in the Dragon Scroll, but the location is an addition. A 7th-level Warcraft's magic core is enough to make her worried. The 7th-level Warcraft is by no means comparable to the 5th-level Warcraft like Snow Devil Wolf. To the 7th level of Warcraft has been breeding wisdom, with the mind began to break away from the general sense of the beast concept. For Warcraft, not to mention level 5, even level 6 and level 7 are like a watershed. For humans, level 5 Warcraft can still be hunted in the way of catching animals, but no one will choose to provoke level 7 Warcraft. The current strength of Cloud Dance, even in front of the 5th level of Warcraft, are just barely self-protection. The 6th level of Warcraft, for now she is really difficult. With your current strength, you can't do it. Let it be. On the contrary, Hayo said it calmly. After that, he remembered Hongling and Little Red Snake trapped in the black fog. He said to the cloud with dissatisfaction, "That little monster, when are you going to take it away?" "What happened to Hongling?" "Nothing. I don't want to see it." Since he was imprisoned in Chaos Hall for many years, he has been the exclusive territory of Hayo himself. He was forced into a small monster by Cloud Dance. It's okay to stay for 2 days, but he felt a little dissatisfied if he wanted to keep it for a long time. "Wait a little longer. I'll let it out in a while." Cloud Dance also has no way. She is really not suitable to take Hongling to swagger through the market now. In fact, there is one more thing Yunwu didn't say. After entering the Shenwang Samurai Academy, I'm afraid Hongling will become a long-term resident of Chaos Hall. Just see Black AO to Redling's antipathy attitude. Cloud Dance still plans to postpone this matter to mention again. Hayo wants to say something to Yunwu, but Yunwu keenly feels the disturbance outside. "Hayo, I want to go back first. Don't throw Hongling out suddenly." With that, the cloud-dancing figure dissipated in the Chaos Hall. Hayo closed his mouth in silence, staring at the place where the cloud disappeared for a while. He turned the palm of his hand, found the book again, and continued to read it. The cloud dance consciousness returns to cage. Open an eye to see Long Qingxia lift the curtain of tint, walked in. The light in the tent was dim. Long Qingxia stood at the door with the curtain half open. The sun was shining from behind and around him. Cloud Dance suddenly opened his eyes, was stabbed by the light, can't help squinting. In the blurred vision, the whole person of Dragon Qingxia is covered with a circle of hairy panam pinned by the sun, which is not true. Dragon Qing evil rarely see Cloud Dance, so it can be said that when it is lovely, the fundus of the eye shows the interest that can't be hidden. "Little thing, do you want to sleep till night?" Cloud Dance raised his hand to cover his eyes, and finally gradually adapted to the light from the outside world, and got up from the mat on the ground. She left the tent with Long Qingxia, and went to the place where the smoke was burning. Cloud Dance casually asked, "Where did you just go?" "Go to the woods and see if there are any Warcraft around here." Dragon Qing evil body shape extremely slight pause for a while. Even Cloud Dance can't notice. There is no loophole in Long Qingxia's words, but Yunwu just feels that something is wrong. When Lao Hu saw them coming, he handed them the meal he had prepared in advance. Lao Hu pointed to a carriage not far away and said happily, "Today, Mr. Nangong sent someone to send some food materials. The rice made by Coco is delicious." Long Qingxia couldn't see the joy and anger. He took a look at the carriage and looked back indifferently. Coco has always been delicious. Fortunately, Yunwu said that, otherwise, Lao Hu would not be able to get off the stage. Knowing that he might be annoying, Lao Hu pulled a few words and went back to the crowd. Long Qingxia took chopsticks and fiddled with the food in the bowl. He didn't seem to have any appetite. He looked at Yunwu, who was concentrating on eating, and suddenly said, "Little thing, we'll leave tonight." "Leaving tonight?" Cloud Dance doesn't understand his meaning. This suddenly how so anxious? In fact, Yunwu doesn't mean that she doesn't agree to go with him. She just wants to know if there's any way to help Nangongi get rid of the poison and give him a favor. For my husband said to go, you follow. You are not anxious to enhance the strength of it? Long Qingxie seems to be impatient today. He frowns and looks at Yunwu. In his eyes like black gemstone, besides irritability, there are some things Yunwu can't understand. It's also at this time that Yunwu finds out that Long Qingxie, who is always full of spirit, has some green and black color at the moment. After seeing Long Qingxie's face carefully in the sun, Yunwu always feels that his breath is not right now. A little weak, or rather, he looks tired. It's just like an ordinary person who suddenly climbs the mountain for a few days and nights in a short time. It gives people the same feeling. What's the matter with you? Aren't you feeling well? Long Qingxie said angrily, it's good for my husband. As long as you don't think about other men all day long, there's nothing wrong with my husband. Yunwu was upset by Longqing's heresy, but he thought that Longqing had taken more care of himself since he entered the Warcraft forest, so he forbeared for a moment and said to him, if you feel sick, I'll show you. No, just remember to go with my husband tonight. With these words, Long Qingxie didn't eat any food and went into the tent. The cloud dance is hung there by the dragon's evil, and it's very angry in my heart. The fat man came over with a bowl in his hands. Today's food is rare and rich, which makes his mouth full of oil. Xiaowu, have you quarreled with your brother? No, it's just something he said that I don't agree with. Cloud Dance now see Fat, only to find that last night she felt Fat lost a circle is not an illusion. Fat Man's clothes used to be tight, but today they are looser. The Fat Man laughed and said, this is a fight. Your brother is very kind to you. Don't make him angry all the time. Well, I know. Cloud Dance casually should A to Fat Man's words and didn't put on the heart. Hey, I'm too talkative. You two know the most about your brothers. Come on, I haven't had enough when I go back to dinner. Yunwu's attitude did not bring any harm to the Fat Man. He looked at Yunwu, laughed at himself, recited and went away with a bowl. Cloud Dance, on the other hand, looks at the back of the Fat Man and guesses what kind of past he has. Last night, the Fat Man forced to enhance the strength of the method, who did not see out, and this kind of thing, Fat himself is absolutely will not say. Yunwu originally wanted to ask Longqingxi, but looking at her posture this time, she could not ask anything. After lunch, because Long Qingxie occupied the tent, Coco, the only girl, had to rest in the temporary shed outside like other men in the team. Yunwu looks at Coco and a group of big men lying on the same mat, and then thinks about the dragon in the tent, so he feels a little depressed. She quickly approached the tent, opened the curtain to see why the man suddenly lost his temper, but suddenly heard the black arrogant stop from Chaos Hall. Don't yell at him. He won't be able to hold on if he doesn't rest. Cloud Dance smell speech along, surprise stare. See fall into deep sleep dragon Qing evil. Don't understand why Black AO will say things so serious. What's the matter with him? If I read it correctly, there is something wrong with his soul. If it is not repaired in time, it will be nothing at first, but later it will become weaker and weaker until death. I'm afraid it's been a while since he's been in good condition. When Hayo said the word death, Yunwu couldn't tell what she felt in her heart, but she knew that she didn't want to watch the dragon die. Even though she didn't know what stage she was in, she only knew that she didn't want him to have an accident. Hayo, is there any way to solve this problem? Yes, you can take the pills that I refined in Xiaoyao Town for him. Within 30 days, he should be able to cultivate as long as he doesn't fight with others. After hearing the words, Cloud Dance takes out a familiar medicine bottle from the space bracelet, which is exactly the pill that was given to False Dragon 3 outside Xiaoyao Town that day. There are many coincidences in the world. Unexpectedly, this medicine not only failed to be taken by Long San, but also fell on Long Qingxie. Just, what happened to this dragon's evil? What's wrong with the soul? Is it because of the fire that night? I can't figure it out, but my heart has increased a lot of doubts. Thinking of Hayo's saying to let Longqingxi have more rest, Yunwu puts the medicine bottle beside Longqingxi's pillow. There's only one pill. I don't worry about the wrong dosage. Seeing that Long Qingxie didn't wake up, Yunwu stepped back. Lao Hu and his family were just dozing off. Seeing the cloud dancing into the tent and out, they were worried, and everyone was in a delicate mood. After all, in their eyes, the brothers are different from before. Yunwu was looked down upon by Lao Hu, and they had goosebumps. They simply went to a big tree not far away to enjoy the cool. At this time, Lingen rode a strong beast horse and came at a gallop. Seeing the cloud dancing under the tree, Lingen pulled the reins and ran towards her. When she got off the horse on the way, she almost rolled down. Lingen kneels down and salutes to Yunwu with one knee. He speaks very fast and says, "Xiao Wu, my son has something urgent to find you and your brother." Lingen raised his hand, covered his nose and mouth with his sleeve, and led the way in front of him. However, Yunwu was shocked when he saw the man in white lying on the bed. "What's the matter?" Although Nangongyi's face is still covered with veil, his fingernails are purple, which is obviously the symptom of poisonous hair. Lingen couldn't bear to see Nangongyi. He only explained to Yunwu, "It's the poison in the child." Suddenly, the poison has poisoned his hair. According to the person who poisoned him, within 3 days after the poison, the child will. Yunwu understands what Ling An's unfinished words are. She turns her eyes and looks around the room. She finds that there are fewer people. Where is Shangguan? Ling An continued to explain. Shangguan is still outside collecting poisons with people. Before he left, he said that if the young master has any problems or poisonous hair, he can find you 2 brothers and find a solution. The cloud dances and hears the speech. The brow suddenly tightly wrinkles. Looking for them? I remember that Shangguan used to look around him as if he saw something strange. However, now Cloud Dance is not exploring much. Close to the unconscious Nangongyi, Yunwu reaches out and presses the pulse gate on his wrist, but in the next second, his face suddenly changes. As soon as Yunwu had explored Nangongyi's pulse, he reached out to try his breath. Fortunately, although weak, but also shallow breathing, Cloud Dance this just secretly relaxed tone. But can't help but frown of saw at Temple E. What kind of poison is it? Lingen sees Cloud Dance's face change several times and tries Nangongyi's breathing. She's scared to death. Linen, who is full of Nangongyi, anxiously asks Yunwu, "Xiao Wu, how is our child?" Cloud Dance looked up at him and directly replied, "I don't know." Although she is codenamed as a miracle doctor in modern times, and she thinks that her medical skills are not bad, Nangongyi is in a bad situation at this time, and she really has nothing to do. Or perhaps, she said that she had read all the knowledge in her mind, and could not tell what poison was in it. In the end, this alien world is totally different from the Earth. Before, she was able to conclude that the old master of Morong family was plagued, but it was because she had been on a mission to a small remote country and met a similar disease there. It's not a plague, but a kind of chronic poisoning that can be transmitted through blood or saliva. If not met, even the top medical skills also can hardly detect that toxicity exists. You don't know? Don't you have great ability? Why don't you know? Lingen was in a hurry, and her expression was distorted. Shangguan, who knows the poison best, is not here. Yunwu and Longqingxi are his only life-saving straws now. No wonder Lingen is like this. I didn't say that I have any ability. It's Shangguan who asked you to come to us. What's the reason for your aggressive behavior? Cloud Dance coldly looking at Lingen, her ordinary young face, but exudes a strange momentum. The sudden coldness of Cloud Dance makes Lingen a little frightened, but the brain, which is dizzy by anxiety, also calms down a little. When the room was quiet, Cloud Dance said, "How long will Shangguan come back?" "As early as this evening. If it's too late, it will be late in the middle of the night." Cloud Dance nodded and said to Lingen, "There are 3 days of buffer time after poisonous hair. You'd better wait for him to come back." Leaving Nangongyi's bed, Yunwu looks to the other side of the room and sees several cages covered with black cloth. From the sound of suah-suah and the stench, it should be the poison they caught during this period. I don't know if Nangongyi put them in his room for safety or for some reason. Just as Yunwu was about to step out of the threshold, Lingyan suddenly reached out and grasped her wrist. You really have no way to save our child? Lingyan stares at Yunwu and doesn't blink, like a crazy devil. Cloud dance seems to be very natural, all a hand. But directly get rid of Lingyan's clamp. So easy to get rid of, let Lingyan a surprise. Sure enough, this cloud dance is not simple. Lingyan, you'd better have a long brain. Your master is Nangong Yi. What do you do if you believe in the advice of Shangguan? This sentence before cloud dance leaves, and her dark eyes, cause Lingyan the whole person long for a while. When Lingyan reacts and chases them out, there is no trace of cloud dance. He went back to Nangongji's bed and knelt down. The man who is not afraid of death is very afraid of the death Nangongji may face. After leaving Nangongji's residence, Yunwu rode back to the camp. Along the way, although her face was normal, her mood was a little confused. Lingyan's words have been in her mind. Why does Shangguan let Lingyan go to find her and Dragon Qingxia? Is it her or Dragon Qingxia? At that time, Shangguan stared at her. Did he find the 5 poison stone? If Shangguan found the 5 poison stone at that time, then he asked Lingyan to find himself, and everything would make sense. Perhaps, Shangguan wants her to use the 5 poison stone in her hand to save Nangongyi's life in a critical moment. However, since Shangguan knew that she had 5 poison stones, why did she go out so hard to catch poison? In this way, the left and right contradictory thought in the cloud dance still cannot come to a conclusion. The beast horse has been familiar with the way to the camp. Xiaowu, you are back. What's the matter? Yunwu jumps off the horse's back and looks at Lao Hu, who is coming face to face. He doesn't understand why he looks anxious and excited. Lao Hu said with a bitter smile, when Long Si woke up, he didn't see you. He knew that you were taken away by Lingyan and almost demolished the camp. Yunwu knows Dragon's evil temper, but she doesn't see anything wrong in the camp. Lao Hu continued at the right time, but he didn't know what was going on. Suddenly, he spurted a mouthful of blood, and people became soft. It's still lying in the tent. It's broken. Cloud Dance immediately think of Black Ao said. Long Qingxia take medicine after a month can't start. At that time, she didn't ask Hayo what would happen to Long Qingxia if she started. What she thought was that when Long Qingxia woke up, she would find an excuse to explain the medicine and the things after that. How do you know that a Lingyan will come out of thin air to stir up the situation? Cloud Dance opened the tent curtain and smelled a faint smell of blood. Long Qingxia is sitting in front of a box. His face has disappeared, revealing his original beautiful and evil face. But now he was very pale. At this time, the dragon's evil look at Yunwu makes Yunwu feel gloomy. The eyes, Yunwu always feel like a man-eating snake, and like the angry snow devil wolf looking at her. What are you doing back here? Long Qingxia's voice was a little hoarse, and his words seemed to be with ice ballast, cold enough to prick people. Cloud Dance looked at the empty pillow and asked him, "Did you take the medicine?" "Oh, I thought it was the elixir you prepared for my husband. Unexpectedly, I almost killed my husband." Long Qingxia seldom faces Yunwu with such a cold and sarcastic attitude. At this time, Yunwu realizes that Long Qingxia was really good enough for her before. At least, she had never seen such a cold and stinging look on Long Qingxia's face. The 2 slanting black eyebrows seemed to be sharp, and the black eyes under the eyebrows were more like 2 gems from the ice. It's so cold that it's going to give out a chill, which makes people uncomfortable. Cloud Dance looks at such dragon to pour evil. In the heart also follow cold down. What? Do you think I'm going to hurt you? At this time, the dragon didn't answer and said, "Little thing, why do you explain to my husband that once I take this medicine, I will be killed by my own power?" Long Qingxia suddenly raised his hand and threw a medicine bottle to Yunwu's feet. There was nothing in it, and there was only a piece of porcelain on the ground that was almost broken into powder. Regurgitation. Only when these 2 words come into our ears can Yunwu understand how big the matter is this time. Dragon's evil originally damaged the soul, but this time, it was afraid of the origin. Damage to the source of the consequences of light and heavy, but most will make the strength of the slow growth, or no inch into the future. Cloud Dance throat tight. She stares at the dragon to pour evil. Tone magnanimous and firm explained everything. Your soul is damaged. The medicine is to make up for your soul, but you can't do it 30 days after the medicine. I wanted to tell you when you woke up, but Lingen was in a hurry. I didn't wait for you to wake up, so I went first. Dragon Qing evil smell speech. Silent for a while. To Cloud Dance asked, Lingen is for what thing to find you? Nanganji is poisoned. Long Qingxia's eyes sank, and he took a deep breath. I can't see it. You still care about him. When he was injured, she went to other men and said that there was no discomfort in her heart, which was absolutely false. Yunwu didn't see his eyes. A strange flash flashed in his heart, but he still said, Dragon. What's urgent now is your injury? Long Qingxia just looks at Yunwu and shakes his head. Disappointment and a deeper complex emotion crisscross in his black eyes. Well, you go to cure Nangang Yi. You need to use the 5 poison stone and give it to him. Cloud Dance listens. The heart is a tight. This words is not the Long Qing evil temper at all. Did it really make him sad this time, which led to the change of his character? However, the next second, Dragon Qing Xia immediately proved to Cloud Dance, what is called the nature is hard to change. He supported the ground with one hand. His whole upper body was straight, and his handsome face was covered with a strong and choking killing intention. Little thing, I'll wait for my husband. When you save Nangang Yi, I'll tear down his bones one by one in front of you. When Long Qing said this, he was biting his teeth. Every word is like the sound of being squeezed out from the teeth, which makes Yunwu feel extremely helpless. When can he be a little more calm? However, Yunwu also said, Don't forget, you are not only hurt by your soul, but also devoured by your origin. Who else do you want to fight with? However, Long Qingxia seemed to be stimulated by the words of Cloud Dance. He turned his head and twitched his eyes. Seeing him like this, Yunwu is a little soft-hearted. Last night, the dragon poured evil to solve the snow devil wolf. Cloud Dance suddenly a long, slightly open double lips. See to Long Qing evil eyes appeared a touch of undercurrent. Why do you go to the woods by yourself today? Long Qingxia didn't expect that Cloud Dance would ask this question at this time. He didn't look at Cloud Dance directly, only hummed coldly and didn't say anything. The light in the tent is dim, and only one oil lamp is flickering. Under the dim light, Long Qingxia's face was even more pale. Cloud Dance previously found tired look, now as obviously can see weak. Long Qingxia's eyes were a little dark, and his face was as pale as a piece of rice paper. Even his thin lips, which always ridiculed others with evil radiance, had lost their color. You haven't started since the first man-eating snake appeared, not just because you want me to have more practical experience? Cloud Dance clear way. You don't do it, because you can't do it. You know very well that you have injuries. Last night, it was because I couldn't solve the snow devil wolf. You were afraid that something might happen to me, so you just managed to do it? Long Qingxia's mouth moved, but he still didn't say anything. He just left Yunwu a cold and handsome face. Long Qingxia, you went to the woods to find a way to heal yourself, didn't you? You don't want me to know about it. That's why you left on your own. After Yunwu stopped talking, there was an uncomfortable silence in the tent. Long Qingxia didn't even look at the Cloud Dance, but sat on the side with a gloomy expression. Can't wait to answer the Cloud Dance. Mood suddenly sink down. An inexplicable anger suddenly from the heart. Dragon, is that interesting? Are you going to die if you're hurt? You are so taboo, I know. Don't take the medicine I left for you. Don't you suspect me of poisoning you? When Yunwu said these words, he was more and more angry, almost roaring out. She gasped and looked at the dragon, and her heart was really mixed. Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu, gnashing his teeth and burning fiercely. If you want to know what his mood is now, it's better to say that he is in a better mood in an instant. At this time, Yunwu can still scold him angrily, instead of coldly watching him be killed and turn around. That's only one thing. This little thing finally began to care about him. Maybe, nothing can make him feel good. Long Qingxia looked at the cloud dance with a smile and asked, "Little thing, are you finished? How are you doing? Are you happy?" Cloud dance now looks at this cloudy and sunny uncertain. The facial expression all dragon poor evil. The bottom of the heart really don't know is what taste. "I'm very happy. Do you plan to find a way to get back at me in the future? Let me know first whether to dig meat or pick bones. Just now, I threw a knife at her. It's like a big feud in my life. Now I'm laughing at her. Don't you understand why you are angry for your husband, you heartless little thing?" Long Qingxia coughed twice and stood up with the box, although his face was still with an evil smile. However, his sick face and his flighty steps all remind Yunwu that the time of dragon's evil is different from the past. Although I really want to leave Long Qingxia behind, I can't help but think of Long Qingxia's hand in order to protect her because he knows that he is hurt. "What's the matter with you now? Is it serious? Is it serious that the source has been reversed? Little thing, I almost thought you were going to murder your husband." Long Qingxia grabs Yunwu's hand and naturally leans on her. The posture of not taking advantage of her is not changed at all. She is not affected by the injury at all. "Shut up, don't talk about the mess. If you are like this now, I can make you go to the west with one slap." Cloud Dance holds the big hand of Dragon Qingxia's sweat. If you don't worry in your heart, it's absolutely false. She understood the character of Long Qingxi, just as Long Qingxi understood her character. They are all of the same kind. If they are not serious enough, they will not show such a weak side in front of anyone. "Tut, I think about murdering my husband every day. Little thing, how can you always be so cruel to your husband?" Long Qingxia was supported by Yunwu and lay down. Although he was not in good mental and physical condition, it obviously didn't affect his mouth. Cloud Dance this time is really not polite. Baji, a to Long Qing evil brain door cover a slap. When she picked up her hand, Dragon's head became red. "Little thing, you are so lawless." Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu angrily. It is estimated that if he is not really hurt too much, he must let Yunwu compensate him. Cloud Dance slapped the dragon to poor evil, and suddenly the whole body was much more comfortable. "You lie down and let me think about what your body should do." With that, Yunwu simply put the dragon in the air and left the tent. Unable to catch up with Long Qingxia, he can only lie down and stare. He has not experienced this feeling for many years, and he can't even remember it. I can only tell myself over and over again that the little thing is going to rack his brains for him, and the dragon can barely suppress the fire. In the tent, Long Qingxia closed his eyes and carefully examined his current situation. After a long time, Long Qingxia opened his eyes and had a faint smile on his face. If Yunwu sees the fox-like smiling face of Long Qingxi, she will not run out in a hurry. Instead, she will stay and slap Long Qingxi to death. At this time, Yunwu sat alone under the big tree next to the camp. Because she yelled in the tent before, she was so mean that now the whole camp dare not get close to her. However, this is good, just in line with Yunwu's mind. She does not want to be disturbed at this time. Yunwu sits under the tree and slowly sends his spiritual consciousness into Chaos Hall. As soon as he enters, Yunwu runs straight to Hayo, who is sitting under Xianyuan fruit tree. "What's the rush?" Hayo read as he did last time. When he saw Yunwu coming, he held the book one by one, and the book disappeared as he did last time. Long Qingxia is now being bitten by the medicine and hurt the source. "Do you have any solutions?" Black Ao naturally way. "Is he hurt the origin, not you? Why should I want to solve?" Cloud danced for a while. She knew Black proud is this temper. Moreover, he has always had a great opinion on Long Qingxia. This time, he will take medicine for Long Qingxia to make up for his soul problem, mostly because Long Qingxia has solved the problem of Snow Devil Wolf. However, for Hayo, he doesn't need to help Long Qingxia anymore. Cloud Dance helpless had to say, "Black proud, medicine as I give him. I always want to be responsible for this matter. He doesn't have a brain of his own. What's your responsibility? Do you want to pay for his life next time he kills himself with the weapon you gave him?" Black proud mouth always poison. Cloud Dance rub forehead. "Hayo, If he dies, I will lose a great help from the outside world. Do you understand? Black Proud shut mouth, after a few breaths, suddenly to Cloud Dance way. I can't appear, to you? It's useless, isn't it? Cloud Dance don't know how Black AO will think of things there, but now calculate her to others, also can only follow the Black AO topic. You've helped me a lot. The witch family's holy fire and the cannibal snake. Which time didn't you save my life? Black Proud expression eased a bit, finally unwilling to give Cloud Dance solution. His cultivation today is different from that of ordinary people. He can't recover in ordinary ways. If you want to help him, maybe you can find the blood of Warcraft above level 7 and do a bloodbath for him. But I don't guarantee it. Smell speech, Cloud Dance depressed. However, there is a way better than no way. Just Cloud Dance think of the Snow Devil Wolf, suddenly big head. 5th Order Warcraft? Black AO's scarlet eyes suddenly looked at her and said, if you can't find level 5 Warcraft, you can also find someone, but you need to be more powerful than a warrior. If you can get higher, it's better. Yunwu's face is about to be the same color as Hayo's. Samurai, even more powerful than Samurai? With her strength at the top of the 7th level and her strength at the beginning of the 9th level, I'm afraid it's the limit. It seems almost impossible to defeat a warrior or more. However, if it is necessary to save him, she may not hesitate. But now it seems that his condition does not really need to be abnormal to the point where human blood is needed. Maybe we can try animal blood first. Black Proud see Cloud Dance complexion tangled. It is oneself mood is much better. If you know all the methods, go and find a way. As soon as he turned the palm of his hand, the thread-bound book appeared again, turning the page to the part he had read before. Cloud Dance see Black Arrogance calm spirit idle appearance, also understand that he is not happy. She wants to save the dragon. Poor evil will have such an attitude. Fortunately, this guy is in the hall. If he is also outside, I don't know if he will make a fuss. Withdraw from the Chaos Hall. Yunwu slowly opens her eyes, a very light purple flash in her eyes. The posture of leaning against the tree for a long time made Yunwu feel uncomfortable. She moved her muscles and bones and got up to go to the camp. Lao Hu and others saw that she walked straight towards them, and they felt a little bit drummed in their hearts. In the end, the Coco people are timid. No matter how educated, they all remember that Yunwu told her that they would be friends and take the initiative to ask Yunwu questions. Brother 5, what happened to you and Brother 4? It's nothing. He's not well and he's not obedient, so I reprimanded him. The Cloud Dance remembers the movement that she scolds the dragon to pour evil before. On the face rare flit over a trace of awkwardness. But that's all. Coco said simply, my father is a little annoyed when he is sick. Brother 5, please bear with me. Xiao Wu, what can we do for you? Lao Hu laughed at the people beside him and interrupted Coco. Yes, tell me the general trend range of Warcraft around here. I want the most detailed information, including Warcraft level, species, and strength ranking in the same level. Lao Hu was surprised and asked, Xiao Wu, what do you want to do with those Warcraft? Practice hand, turn back to pick a Snow Devil Wolf skin, and make a cape for Coco. Coco's eyes are bent up with laughter. Snow Devil Wolf's fur is like snow. In fact, she likes it very much. Just because of the terrible strength of Snow Devil Wolf, I dare not say it all the time. Lao Hu's forehead was sweating. He advised, Xiao Wu, don't mess with me. Long Si is injured now. You can't have any more accidents. When Yunwu asked Lao Hu to give her a map, Long Qingxie came out of the tent. His face was the same as that of the young hunter when he changed face, which covered up his original beautiful face. Lao Hu, Xiao Wu wants a map. You can prepare one. I'll go with Xiao Wu. Lao Hu is very proud of the dragon. Well, I'll let someone prepare. Dragon 4, is your body really okay? Nothing. Before Lao Hu went to find the map, he carefully looked at Long Qingxie for a long time to make sure that there was nothing wrong with him. Then he felt relieved to find someone to make the map. Long Qingxie took Yunwu and sat down in front of the big tree next to the camp. He walked calmly and couldn't find any abnormality. Little thing, what are you looking at? Cloud Dance found that this time's change of appearance, Long Qingxie seems to have done something. Before the appearance of Irong can let people see his face, But now, that face is too ruddy to be more healthy, and it can't be seen that he was seriously injured before, so he was about to die. If you look at it like this, you can't see the feeling of injury at all. Who said, "Waifu is very weak now"? Long Qingxie reaches out and hugs Yunwu's shoulder and sticks to her at this good time. Yunwu struggled uneasily for a while, but after he found that Long Qingxie had pasted him and his temperature was abnormally low, he didn't really slap him away. By the way, little thing, what do you want to do with level 5 Warcraft? Cloud Dance's eyelid moved for a while, and the heart immediately had to reply. I have seen in ancient books that people who hurt their soul and origin at the same time can try to repair their wounds by soaking them in the blood of Warcraft above level 5. Long Qingxie doesn't believe it, nor does he believe it. He just looks at the clouds with his lips. By his deep black eyes so staring, Cloud Dance always feel. Dragon Qing evil seems to see what. If you don't believe it, you cannot do it. Cloud Dance in the heart still has a bit of confidence. No matter be Chaos Temple or Black Proud, is not easy to let a person see the bottom card. Even if it's Dragon, I'm afraid it doesn't have that ability. If you try it, you won't die. You dare to take the medicine of this little thing. Are you afraid of anything else? In fact, before for her, he had used animal blood for her many times, but Yunwu didn't know it. Cloud Dance white he one eye way. Early know you so love to take medicine. I should simply give you some other medicine, directly poison dumb you. Let you this mouth can no longer nonsense. Dragon Qingxie pulled a long tone dashed a sound, as if he had found something extraordinary. He was very happy to hold Yunwu, looked down to her and asked, "Little thing, you just want to make Waifu dumb now? Don't want to kill Waifu anymore?" Yunwu was a little surprised. Then she remembered that she seemed to be more and more tolerant of Dragon's evil. This is not a good phenomenon. Now you are like this, I still threaten you with killing you? Just do it. Although she was worried about him, who knew what he would do to make her jump with anger because of the dragon's ability to push her nose and face. The dragon poured evil like true or false and hit his face and said, "Hey, you little thing, you really hurt my husband." If Yunwu wanted to say anything else, he found that in the camp not far away, almost everyone was watching them. With her eyes after the relative, the group of people together with the twist of the beginning began a lively conversation. Cloud Dance suddenly blushes and pushes the dragon away. "Be serious with me." However, she forgot the current situation of Longqingxie. With such a push, she pushed Longqingxie backward and bumped into the hard tree trunk. Hiss! Long Qingxie covered the back of his brain in pain. He hated the situation that his hands were powerless. "Little thing, do you really do it?" Yunwu wants to check it, but he thinks it's too sentimental and unaccustomed. "How do I know you are so useless now? You can't even push it." "Little thing, what's the point of living if I can't even help a few animals? You can rest assured that my husband will not delay you." Yunwu thought for a long time and finally said, "Okay, then you can go with me." Make such a decision, Cloud Dance will not say anything. At least, with her there, she would make sure he was safe. As soon as they reached an agreement, the sound of horses' hooves came from a distance rhythmically. Long Qingxie narrowed his eyes and looked at it, as if there were stars in his eyes, with a sharp edge like a sword blade. Shangguan rode in the front of the team, but Ling'an followed him behind, as if he had become his bodyguard. Shangguan rode to Yunwu and Longqingxie. He didn't dismount. He just sat on the horse and talked to them. "The situation of Nanganji is not very good. Aren't you two ready to fight yet?" Long Qingxie asked him. "Don't you promise that you can be responsible for Nanganji's poison? Why do you want someone else to do it now?" Shangguan opened his mouth to refute, but he was cut off by Long Qingxie. "What's more, our brothers just came to look for the 5 poison stone. When will we have to detoxify Nanganji?" Ling'an looks at Long Qingxie's attitude that he doesn't care whether Nangang is alive or dead. He is angry and his eyes are fierce. "Dragon 4, you have a way to save my son, but you just don't save him. Do you want to be the enemy of Nangang family?" Ling'an rode forward, holding the reins almost into the flesh and blood of the palm. Long Qingxie glanced at him lazily and asked, "Who stipulated that people in your Nangong family must be saved?" He is not happy because of Nanmi's affairs in Japan these days. The guy who wants to die is still talking nonsense. If it wasn't for the fact that the body was still recovering, Long Qingxie really wanted to pull Ling An's tongue to make it quiet. Shangguan stops Ling An, who wants to fight, and turns to Yunwu, who is watching the play. "Xiao Wu, if you don't plan to save Nangong Yi, you won't stay here. Now Nangong Yi is poisoned. Don't you plan to do it?" "I don't know what to do. I'm not a doctor." Cloud Dance's vigilant eyes looked at Shangguan, and he was more defensive. Shangguan's attitude towards Yunwu had been expected for a long time. His eyes, which were exposed outside the mask, bent up and were obviously laughing. "What kind of people are you?" "I know very well. Although your people have not been born for many years, their ability to cure diseases and save people depends on their natural abilities." "What kind of people?" Yunwu's eyes sank. She always guessed that Shangguan saw that Yunwu was carrying 5 poison stones. Unexpectedly, he saw the identity of the descendants of Yunwu's witch clan. This is definitely the biggest threat to her. Shangguan saw Cloud Dance changed his expression and said, "Don't worry, I'm not interested in your blood. What's more, if you can save Nangong Yi, you can also save my friend. I'll ask for you at that time. If you ask for help, others may not agree." Long Qingxie gets up and takes Yunwu behind him. Although he looks up at Shangguan sitting on the horse, his momentum can actually suppress Shangguan. Shangguan rolled his eyes and said, "It's Xiao Wu who decides whether to agree or not you." Although Yunwu's heart is a little bit murderous, it gives Yunwu a little hope. She subconsciously holds the necklace on her neck through her clothes. This Shangguan can see that she is the blood of the witch family. Maybe she can find a way to untie the seal of Bai Laodu. Thinking of this, Yunwu resolutely said, "Okay, I'll go with you to see the situation of Nangongji, but I can't guarantee that I can save him." Long Qingxie frowned, but after looking at Yunwu, he still pressed down the words of opposition. He could see what the purpose of Cloud Dance was for Shangguan, and it was very important for Cloud Dance. Ling An took a man to lead a horse. Yunwu added, 2 beasts and horses, dragon 4, come with me." Hearing this, Ling An looked back at the dragon with a twitch of her cheek muscle, but she still swallowed it. Shangguan sat on the horse laughing and clapping his hands and said, "I haven't seen your family's ability to save people. I can finally broaden my horizons." Yunwu didn't answer. Although she is the blood of the witches and has the holy fire in her body, she didn't learn any skills of the witches. In contrast, it is the Queen Xuelio, who still has many sorcery skills in her hand. Don't hold too much hope. Maybe Nangongyi's life is not good? Long Qingxie is holding Cloud Dance. In fact, it is mainly relying on Cloud Dance to support his weight. Shangguan's right hand was empty, and he put it on his mouth and coughed. "I say you should be virtuous and curse others to death all day long, and now you are punished?" Cloud Dance nerve tight. Look up, the officer's eyes more alert. Even Dragon Qing Evil, also staring at Shangguan, can't move the line of sight. That eyes, hidden, boundless kill. This Shangguan looks really dangerous. He can see Yunwu's identity at a glance, and he also points out that Long Qingxie is in bad health now. Cloud Dance can't help asking, "Who are you?" Guess what? There were 2 chuckles in Shangguan's mouth covered by his mask. The chuckles were a bit naughty, but they seemed to be naive only as a child. Long Qingxie looked at Shangguan for a long time with bad eyes. As soon as his eyelids pulled out, some news flashed in his mind. Your eyes are really easy to use. No wonder so many people pay a lot of money to buy them. As soon as Long Qingxie said this, Shangguan seemed to be frightened. He shook his horse and almost fell off his horse. "You? How do you know us?" There was panic and fear in Shangguan's eyes. Yunwu could see that he even left immediately after a word of disagreement. This is totally inconsistent with the ruffian arrogance that Shangguan has always shown. Long Qingxie said lazily, "It doesn't matter how I know. What's more, I'm very interested in your eyes." Shangguan straightened his back and snorted, which made him a little aggressive. "Your body is nothing but useless. What can you do for me?" I advise you not to be quick for a moment, otherwise, I can destroy your danger first. Dragon Ching, evil smell speech. Hang on. Cloud Dance body to smile, a voice. That laughter, even Cloud Dance listen to all feel a little harsh. Since you have such eyes, can't you see if you can kill me? Yunwu listens to the conversation between the two and looks at Shangguan's ordinary eyes. What's so special about these eyes? When Ling'an brought his horse back, he saw that the atmosphere among Yunwu, Longqingxi and Shangguan was strange, and it was ready to explode. What's the matter with you? It's okay. I'll go back first. Shangguan shuddered violently on the horse and drove his horse to go alone. Ling'an's suspicious eyes turned to Yunwu and Longqingxi because his previous failure to save him makes him have no trust in them. Cloud Dance is also looking at the dragon. He and Shangguan in the end, what riddle? When it comes to eyes, Shangguan is scared like that. It looks like a ghost wants to kill him. However, Long Qingxie didn't explain the idea for them. He got on a beast horse and sat on the horse and stretched out his hand to Yunwu. Let's go. Isn't Nanganji still waiting? Yunwu didn't want to ride with him, but he saw the sweat on the forehead of Longqingxi and finally sat in front of Longqingxi in the stirrup. After starting, Cloud Dance whispered, "If you can't hold it, hold me, don't move your hands, or I'll throw you down directly." Long Qingxie, who was sitting behind her, was laughing in his throat, holding the reins in one hand and the flexible waist of Yunwu in the other. The people behind are more and more close, but they can hardly feel the heat that once embarrassed Yunwu. Cloud Dance, looking at the road ahead, did not look back, just wring eyebrows to ask, "Why is your temperature so low?" Dragon Ching, evil whole person, and Cloud Dance stick together. In her ear-low voice way, "Small thing, contented, if changed other people, already died." Cloud Dance scolded, "Don't talk nonsense." Behind her, Long Qingxie's mouth turned up with a smile, which seemed to be helpful for her caring attitude. Shangguan has long been gone. Ling'an looks at the intimacy of the two of them and simply turns his head. It's clear that he can't see them. When they arrive at the residence of Nangang Yi, the guard comes to report to Ling'an. Shangguan said he was going to take people to catch poisons. He has already left. Ling'an frowned and looked back at Long Qingxie. He pressed his anger and asked, "What's going on?" Long Qingxie doesn't hang on Yunwu like a bone. Ling'an's question is not painful to him. "I'm not familiar with Shangguan. What do you want me to do?" Yu Ling in a stomach fire has no place to send, and think of still in a coma of South Palace have to force to endure. "You first with I go in to have a look, child." After the narrow courtyard, Ling'an opens the door and Yunwu finds that the last bad smell is gone. It's mostly because of Nanganji's poisonous hair that the bodyguards took the initiative to remove the poisons. Now it is replaced by a good smell of sandalwood, which tastes elegant and quiet, and makes people very comfortable. Long Qingxie doesn't know any exquisite medical skills. He just follows Yunwu to see her feel the pulse for Nanganji. The Cloud Dance once again probes into the pulse gate of the South Palace in the heart, secretly away as expected. There is no pulse. Just as the clouds frown and worry about how to start, the voice of Black Pride comes from Chaos Hall. "Let's poison the blood first, delay the time of his poison." The blood is mixed with hot water and fed to the poison. To feed the poison? Why? Is it, the more toxic it is, the easier it is to perceive the 5 poison stone? Cloud Dance finished the heart and Black Proud dialogue. Side head to Ling in command way. "You go to prepare a basin of hot water to just boil." "Okay. Anything else?" "No need." Ling'an immediately went out to boil water for Yunwu. As long as Yunwu is willing to do something, it means that their young master is still saved. What he is afraid of is that Yunwu will not let him prepare for anything, saying that he can't help him. In the room, Yunwu takes out the silver needle and stabs it into several big acupoints around Nanganji. The skin under the acupoints becomes red and swollen gradually. Long Qingxie's eyes looked as if the silver needles had some attraction, and the black and red blood kept gathering towards the location of the silver needles. By the time Ling'an came back, Nangang Yi's shoulders, arms, wrists, and the center of his chest and abdomen had already puffed up one blood bubble after another. Here, Xiao Wu, what's going on? Lingyan is startled to ask. The heart is startled. The water basin in the hand is almost all smashed by him. That blood bubble is very full. Lingyan sees in the past. Feel as if the black and red blood inside all want to prop up to break that thin to shining epidermis. Burst to splash out general. Cloud Dance saw the Lingyan of exclamation voice one eye. Eyebrow tiny wrinkly, however, but still low mouth. Put the water by the bed and don't yell when you see anything. Lingyan swallows saliva and looks at Nangongyi on the bed uneasily. But when I saw the black and red blood in those blood bubbles that looked like poisonous blood, I had nothing else to say. Seeing that Lingyan was honest, Yunwu took out a dagger from the space bracelet, grabbed Nangongyi's arm outside the bed, and cut the blood bubbles on his wrist, arm, and shoulder. Well, Nangongyi in a coma sends out a pain to sing. On the face of white gauze, faintly see his that wrinkly brow. Lingyan watched the black blood spatter out and fall into the basin. A strange scene appeared. Originally, it was just a steaming basin. After the black blood splashed in, it was bubbling again. Lingyan's eyes were straight, and she was surprised. When the poisonous blood flows out about 1/3, Yunwu immediately bandages Nangongyi's wound, and then sends a message to Lingyan. Help me move him and let him lie on his side. Because of the wound on Nangongyi's right arm, Lingyan finally climbs to the bed and tries to support Nangongyi to prevent him from suffering from the wound. Yunwu has no opinion about it, as long as it doesn't delay her business. Later, Yunwu cleanly cuts the rest of Nangongyi's blood bubbles, and the black blood flows into the water basin, which is boiling. Lingyan looked at the poisonous blood only to flow out some, directly began to bandage the Cloud Dance, hesitated repeatedly or frowned and asked, Xiao Wu, don't you need to squeeze the poisonous blood clean? Squeeze it clean? Cloud Dance took a look at Lingyan, drew back his eyes, continued his action and said, if you want him to die, you can squeeze his poisonous blood clean, but if the blood dries, he will die. Lingyan smell speech, the facial expression is tiny change. You mean, you just didn't detoxify for child? Yunwu didn't answer him immediately. Instead, he tied the last bandage and explored Nangongyi's pulse again. He found that there was no pulse at all. But to observe his heartbeat and breathing, you can find that the situation is a little better than just now. Just looked up at Lingyan and said, if his poison is so easy to solve, do you think, why do you and Shangwan go all out to look for the 5 poison stone when you come here? Is it because you are full? Yunwu took a towel and wiped his hands. He took out a small medicine bottle from the space bracelet and spilled the powder inside. The boiling liquid cools rapidly, solidifies, and finally forms a dark crystal. Take this to feed the captured poisons. According to the habit of the 5 poison stone, the more poisonous it is, the easier it is to find it. Lingyan hears speech, although in the heart understand, but still not at ease of Saw South Palace E. Although, under the white gauze, he can't see Nangongyi's face clearly, but his frown seems to be flattened. He's a little relieved, and he's going to talk to other bodyguards with the basin. However, when Lingyan went out, Yunwu reminded him. Remember, don't let them directly touch the things in the basin, otherwise, they will die before the poison is fed. Lingyan looks at the basin with his bare hands and frowns. He is a little surprised at the bottom of his heart. However, he still remembers to go out in his heart. After Lingyan went out, there was a moment of silence in the room. Long Qingxie observes Nangongyi, who is unconscious for a while. His dark eyes are inexplicably deep, which makes people wonder what he is thinking. However, at this time, he asked, little thing, it seems that you know how to cure this kind of poison according to what you have just done. Cloud Dance smells speech, after glancing at him, just shake head way. If I know, why wait here to waste time? I'm afraid it won't take long for that to be a temporary way to curb. Long Qingxie is not interested in whether Nangongyi can survive. However, I heard Cloud Dance say that it won't take long. The corner of my mouth slightly raised up. It seems that I'm in a happy mood. Of course, in order not to let the woman notice, he hid well. Just Cloud Dance at this time of mind, but also out of mind. It's really strange that Heio was able to explain just now. You know, Heio is very proud. If it's not for her danger or something related to her, he doesn't care about everything. But this time, it's for Nanganji. It's strange. Lingen quickly distributed the most poisonous feed and came back to report to Yunwoo. Yunwoo raised his hand to stop him and said to him, I have done what I can, and I can't help with the rest. As for refining antidotes, I believe Shangwan can solve it. If there is nothing, we will leave first. Lingen wants to talk and stop looking at Yunwoo, seems to want to say something, but, in the end, it is not finished. Nangangi's poison, Cloud Dance, is really no way. Although she has modern medical skills, but it is not omnipotent, especially the strange poison of this strange world has gone beyond the scope of her understanding and detoxification, although, considering that Nangangi helped her last time. However, there is something wrong with Long Qingxia's body at this time. Since Nangangi is okay for the time being, Yunwoo will not waste time. With an explanation, Yunwoo and Longqing leave. Back at camp, in addition to everyone's more and more formal attitude towards Cloud Dance and Dragon, there is nothing unusual about the rest. The bodyguards are responsible for catching poisons, and the people in the camp have been idle for another 2 days. Cloud Dance is to take advantage of these 2 days to find out the location and distribution of the 5-level Warcraft in the area of the Warcraft Forest. It just needs to start. Under the tree next to the camp, the dragon who came out of the tent went to Yunwoo and sat down. What do you think? Or are you worried about Nanganji? Cloud Dance Light saw a dragon to pour evil one eye. To his this kind of question don't bother to answer. What I want to know more now is, what is the origin of that Shangwan? For the Shangwan, Yunwoo was really curious. Dragon Qing evil smell speech, after seeing Cloud Dance, seemed to secretly sigh just will line of sight fall in the forest depth, low voice says. It is said that in ancient times, most of the Warcraft could be transformed into human form. At that time, many human families married with Warcraft and obtained protection, and human descendants would have some special power of Warcraft. However, later, I don't know what happened, high-level Warcraft died in large numbers, and human beings who married with Warcraft family gradually died out. In the end, it's just the Warcraft forest, where there are many low-level Warcraft. Cloud Dance heard, cannot help but feel a little surprised. What can turn into human form are all Warcraft that have broken through the 9th level. What can make them fall down? If there is such a force in the world, wouldn't it be terrible? Maybe that power cannot easily kill these human beings? Long Qingxia said with a smile, little things, those are all rumors thousands of years ago. Who knows what the situation was at that time? However, you don't have to think so much about it. Maybe it was some natural disaster or internal killing. Finally, everyone died together. Who knows if it was true or false? Behind that words, the dragon inclines evil some to ponder to say. Although Yunwoo felt strange, it didn't say much. Perhaps, it's the most reasonable way to say that Long Qingxia, otherwise, it's really terrible. However, just when Yunwoo was thinking like this, a slight wave suddenly came from the Chaos Hall. By the way, how could she forget Hyo? Cloud Dance can't help but heart read a move. In front of the black proud inquiry of Chaos Temple asks away. Hyo, do you know about the fall of Warcraft? However, what Yunwoo didn't expect was that as soon as her question fell, the fluctuation in the Chaos Hall suddenly became intense. Cloud Dance can clearly feel that the Hall of Chaos floating in the sea of consciousness is shaking, as if there is an earthquake inside. This made Yunwoo, who had already established consciousness connection with Chaos Hall, feel dizzy and almost fell to the ground. Long Qingxia finds that the Cloud Dance is not in the right condition and reaches out his hand in time to pull the Cloud Dance back to the ground. Little thing, what's the matter with you? Yunwoo is dizzy and full of brain. She leans against Long Qingxia's arms. The feeling of whirling around makes her feel like she's sitting in a boat in the storm. The whole person is hard to get. Damn Hyo, who is the master of Chaos Hall. However, Cloud Dance is still feeble to Dragon Qingxia perfunctory. I'm okay. Immediately, the voice from the bottom of my heart immediately called out to the black pride in the Chaos Hall. Hayo, calm down. But Chaos Hall is still in continuous vibration. Seems to be able to clearly feel out of the black AO that emotional unrest. Hayo, do you want me to command you as the master of Chaos Hall? Stop right now. The second sentence had an immediate effect on Hayo. After shaking out the last ripple, Chaos Hall finally came to a standstill. Cloud Dance in the heart-relaxed tone. Endure to still have some uncomfortable feeling. Say to Long Qingxia. Send me back to tent first. I want to have a rest. To be exact, she needs a quiet environment to communicate with Hayo. However, at this time, Long Qingxia was staring at her strangely and straightly, as if he wanted to see her soul. Why are you looking at me like this? Yunwu frowned at him. Don't hide something from me. Dragon Qing evil looking at her, inexplicably said such a sentence. Yunwu was surprised, but he soon returned to normal and looked into his eyes. One day, you cannot hide me. Maybe, I will think about it. This words, let Long Qing evil assign Long. Black Mao dark sink. Maybe, there are some things, both of them feel it's not the time to speak. Or maybe, in their hearts, there is a forbidden area that no one can touch. Camp. Looking at Long Qingxia holding Cloud Dance back to the tent, Lao Hu and others, seeing this, all came forward to ask a few questions of concern, and were prevaricated by Long Qingxia for the reason of too tired to detoxify Nanganji. Into the tent, Cloud Dance will excuse one asleep for a while, the dragon to support out. Long Qingxia looks at Yunwu's eyes, which is a bit mysterious, but he doesn't say anything in the end. Yunwu is lying on the bed. It seems that she has fallen asleep. In fact, her spirit has sunk into the sea of consciousness and entered the Hall of Chaos. Now Yunwu has entered the Chaos Hall countless times, but she has never seen such a picture. Chaos Palace is a mess. Mess? Yes, it's a mess. Although this piece of space, in addition to the floating in the air of the dragon, with the lawn of Xianyuan fruit trees, is just empty. However, at this time, in this empty space, the original thin vitality becomes mixed and surging, spreading around, giving people a kind of extremely messy chaos. Even the vigorous Xianyuan fruit tree, which is rooted in Xingmin, has withered some branches and leaves. Look at the broken branches and leaves, who destroyed most of them. Cloud Dance looked for a circle, did not see Black Proud, simply stood in situ, and so on. Before long, there was a fuzzy black mist in front of Yunwu. Fog twist, condensation, gradually revealed the Black Proud body. Come on, what's the matter with you just now? You're going to tear down my Chaos Palace, aren't you? Black AO stood in front of the Cloud Dance in silence, a pair of scarlet eyes like watching the Cloud Dance, but more like passing through the shadow of the Cloud Dance and seeing the vast distance. Cloud Dance to see him like this. If you can't guess what's fishy, it's really silly. Therefore, she did not beat around the bush, directly asked. Is it related to the ancient Warcraft group? See, Cloud Dance that words just fall, Black Proud cheek twitch for a while. The forehead is taut. The blood vessel under the skin is violently bouncing. It seems that there is something to break out, but in the end, it disappeared. He looked at the Cloud Dance. After a long time, a word came from the hoarse voice. Yes, although Yunwu has always believed that Hayo lived for a long time, he never thought that he would be related to the ancient Warcraft group. What species did she enter into a master-servant contract with? How can Yunwu not be surprised at the bottom of his heart? However, his face remained unchanged. Don't ask me anything else. With your current strength, knowing too much is not good for you, and it will bring you many dangers you can't cope with. With that, Hayo sat on the ground beside the trunk of Xianyuan fruit tree. Those green branches and leaves, in the Black Proud side, gently flick, like consciousness in pacifying his heart. Cloud Dance thought of will Black Proud words chew again, suddenly realized what eyes a stare. Do you mean that the people who destroyed the Warcraft clan still exist in this world? Hyro Wei nodded. Although I'm imprisoned here, I can feel that for so long. No matter how many races have been destroyed and disappeared in front of the eyes of the world, they still exist. When Yunwu heard this, her heart was a little chilly. Such a huge and terrible power, they have existed for such a long time, but they have been hidden in the dark. Who are they? What do you want to do? Black proud sea cloud dance that frown heavy color appearance. Light smile don't worry so much. They are only interested in the strong, and they have to be stronger than them. Now you can't be in their eyes. Cloud dance can't tell what it's like in my heart. Are you not willing to be strong enough to see the reality of the world? Or are you glad that you are not strong enough to be the target of those secret people? Go back. Today, I'm out of control. After all, it's been a long time since I've heard about that. Hayo's back is against the tree trunk of Xianyuan fruit tree, which gives off wisps of vitality. What's in his voice is the desolate taste that makes people sad. Remember, don't pry into their information before you are short of strength. It will do you all kinds of harm, but not any benefit. Looking at the black pride who has closed his eyes to rest, Yunwu doesn't continue to disturb him, but chooses to retreat quietly. Yunwu thinks that many times, people need a place to lick their wounds. Chaos Temple to Hayo, is it such an existence now? Leaving the sea of consciousness, Yunwu lies in the tent and opens her eyes. The dim light makes her look like a layer of fuzzy virtual shadow, which is very unreal. All along, the goal of Cloud Dance is to make itself stronger, and one day, it can defeat the Queen Shuelyo who always controls the queen behind, and even the person who hides behind the queen. However, black proud words, just like in the Cloud Dance heart, planted a seed. It's a dynamic seed that urges her to continue on the road of cultivation. I don't know how long later, Long Qingxia opened the curtain and came in with a bowl of steaming soup in his hand. Little thing, are you better? Dinner is ready. I asked Coco to cook some soup for you. If you're hungry, I'll get you some food. Yunwu looks at the back of the dragon, and the moonlight is cold beside him, just like when he killed the snow devil wolf that night. What kind of man is he? Little thing, what are you looking at? Long Qingxia noticed that Yunwu's eyes were strange. When he looked at him, he seemed to be assessing what he was looking at. Cloud Dance blinked eyes, mental recovery, just that with a little guess of the line of sight was her down. It's nothing. I don't need any rice. I'll just have some soup. Long Qingxia hands the soup bowl to Yunwu and stares at her. Yunwu is not comfortable with Long Qingxia's gaze. After drinking the soup, he puts the bowl into Long Qingxia's arms and starts to drive people away. Well, I have to rest. Go out quickly. She is so impolite. It is to let Long Qingxia take back the line of sight. In the eyes quite doting of Flashamy Streamer. Little thing, my husband is also a wounded man. Do you have the heart to let me go out to sleep in the open to aggravate my injury? Cloud Dance looks at the dragon to pour evil to have no fear, and is playing thick skin appearance, for a moment a burst of speechless. However, he does not feel well now. However, if you spend the night in the tent with this dragon, you can imagine what it will be like with his shameless posture. Well, I'll go out. Yunwu gets up from the bed. Long Qingxia's long legs stretched out, which happened to trip Yunwu, and his long arms stretched out, directly dragged her back to his arms. Long Qingxia pillows his chin in Yunwu's neck socket, and his thin lips are almost close to Yunwu's cheek. I'm such a heartless little thing. My husband is like this. Shouldn't you take good care of him? Don't forget, my husband is like this now, but it's all for you. Cloud Dance glanced at him, didn't give him face, and said, If you didn't know how to hurt your soul, how could the following things happen? Don't play with me. Having said that, Cloud Dance directly drags the restless hand of Dragon Qingxia away, and with a flash of his body, pulls apart the distance between them. However, the words of Cloud Dance made the strange smile on Long Qingxia's face. Little thing, many things are different from what you think. Don't you want to know? Cloud Dance hissed and said to the dragon, If you want to say it, you have already said it. Why do you come here to ask me? But do you mean to say that you even hurt your soul for me? Cloud Dance this words, poor is to let the Long Qing evil silent down. His deep black eyes looked at the Cloud Dance, like a lot of words, but he didn't intend to say it, some mysterious and some feeling of smoking. Of course I want to go through fire and water for you, but you haven't given me a chance. This man's glib has made Yunwoo feel used to it. He didn't take his words seriously. Instead, he sat up straight, followed by the topic he hadn't finished before, and asked Dragon Qingxia. Well, don't be glib. What do you have to do with Shangguan when you told me about the ancient rumors? Is he a legacy of that race? Or, what's the relationship? If that Shangguan was really left by the ancient ethnic group, it would be much stronger than it is now, right? But the Shangguan she saw didn't seem to be like that. For the question of cloud dance, Long Qingxia didn't answer immediately. But he found a few cushions, leaned on the wooden box, and continued to talk with Yunwoo. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.